Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Casting the Spotlight episode number 160. And at the very end of the year, we are finishing with a milestone episode.
Yeah, last one of the year. We reached a 10.
What a 2024.
It was.
5-year anniversary.
It flew.
We had our 5-year anniversary. We had Kyle Henley, 5th appearance. We had our 2nd Cape Con, Comic-Con.
Had a couple more wrestling casts.
Had a WrestleMania SummerSlam cast. We had several new, definitely a number of people for the first time ever this year.
Yeah.
Tyler Deering was just on. We had Lauren, Zach Cashman, beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few people in here.
Yeah, we did our Halloween and our just coming off our holiday episodes.
We introduced a new segment, which
segment.
we're getting ready to perform here for you.
Put out what, a total, would you say, 46?
This is 46 tonight.
Yeah.
So it's been a hell of a year.
Quite a bit of content.
You suffered an injury.
I did. Yeah, that set us back a couple weeks.
It did. But
we're back.
We are.
We're
and here we are. Like, honestly, it's kind of cool the way it worked out. We end with a fresh, new, like, decade of episodes, basically. You know, the 160s.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically have one more round of this segment and one more round of the good, the bad, and the shits. And yeah, that'll be all for the folks. I mean, we hope everybody had a great Christmas, a great holiday, a great time. Celebrate with the fam, with your pets, with your kids, your aunts, your uncles,
Your grandparents.
your friends, your fucking, all of them.
Yeah.
Your grandparents. Celebrate, man, with these people because every year
Your
you
neighbors.
never know.
Yeah.
Celebrate with, everybody you can while they're here.
I've seen a lot of posts about that even recently, and I feel it during the holidays. That's why I even said, like, with Halloween and Christmas, they're my favorites, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I dig the vibes and the seasons more than the actual holidays nowadays. Because I just soak up the season to the fullest extent, with especially those two.
Yeah.
That it's like as a kid, there's a lot of excitement and build up to the day. You know what I mean? And like as an adult, it's exciting still to hand out your presents and like get presents, but it's not like about that at all. So like if you let yourself like anticipate building up to the actual day, you end up getting disappointed a lot. You almost like just soak up the season while you're in the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it's
I've seen a lot of people posting like, oh, Christmas doesn't feel like it did when we were kids, or oh, Halloween's not the same anymore. And it's like, well, you're adults. Like, it's going to change. You have to make the season. It's not made for you anymore. Honestly,
your parents are like, most of the time, a lot of the time, like maybe your mom like is like sort of the one that sort of makes it like, they buy the scented candles, they open the windows, they do the cleaning, like that, that fresh just smell in like the fall time, and we get the windows open, everything is like clean, and it's just there's like a vibe about it. And like whenever you're growing up, you feel like your family or your parents, your mom, like are like great at setting that kind of tone and that vibe for your like household. So like you always know that it's the Christmas season, because you don't really have control over all those things. Now you got to make it. Now you do have to make it. You have all your own things to do in your regular life, relationships, work, sleep, and everything else. But like you gotta if you're gonna feel the vibes of the season, you gotta create it, put up some decorations, do the whole shebang.
And for me at least, like I get certain years you're not gonna have the energy or the time or the whatever.
Well, yeah, maybe you have something going on
for it.
Yeah, with your fam or something too.
If you can though, like if you can make the time for the season and actually invest in, I'm gonna go look at lights, I'm gonna watch Christmas movies, I'm gonna whatever it may be for the season or the holidays that you used to love as a kid. Like if you actually do carve out the time and put in the energy for it, it's still there. You're just an adult now. Like it does help. Like if you can get yourself into the Christmas vibe or the holiday vibe and feel that, even going to work, you feel it. Like it helps get you through the seasons a lot of times. Like that's why now that I am an adult, like I love the Halloween season and I love the Christmas season because it's just a vibe. The season is what it's about.
It's about it's about the atmosphere for sure during that time, those times of year, and like setting that. Yeah, I definitely feel that too. I feel like we had a pretty strong one, all in all, like this past year.
Yeah.
We got we're ending the year with Cody Robbins and Ricky being our all-time most appearances by guests, the 7-time guest stars.
That's crazy.
But the large majority of those were the wrestling episodes, which they've never missed, so they're always present.
Y'all are gonna have to sit out some. You're gonna run away with the guest.
Yeah.
Total here soon.
Oh man, well
they're reviving.
None of those, guys. But that's the thing. They've never canceled, and they all those two still only have one solo. So it's not like they're getting an abuse of solo episodes either. But they're showing up every time we rely on them.
Yeah, bring back like duo episodes and like wrestling group episodes.
Cody came on 2 Halloween 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Ricky did a draft one. He did the Christmas one. He did his own solo. Yeah, like most of those guys with the most appearances have only one solo, I think. But I mean, we're hoping to bring on a whole fucking new slate of people too. So it'll be interesting. But next year, I mean, we'll have a ton to talk about. That is what I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm like, it doesn't necessarily feel lackluster, but I'm also like, there's a lot of content coming out in 2025, like including movies and stuff. There's a lot of like pretty good shit coming out. And so I'm like, in that, we'll get into that obviously later too, but like the NFL playoffs it starts with. So I'm like, at least like there is stuff that kind of feels ready, where like last year I didn't feel necessarily as ready to like jump in. I mean, it's coming no matter if you feel like it or not. It's going to change 2025.
Yep.
But
that's
the
fact of the matter.
But like at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I'm kind of like it's going to be interesting because this year there will be some stuff to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, that's like something that I kind of was even writing about in my blog too. Is now that the year has ended, it's like it's an exciting time with content because like I, as a kid especially, and even now, you get like the post-holiday like slump where you're just like, damn, like there's like you can run into a brick wall after the holidays if you like let yourself, just because it does feel like January and February and shit like there ain't shit. You're just like you're in some dreary months and there's nothing going on. But it's like, as an NFL fan, I have the playoffs. As a wrestling fan, the road to WrestleMania starts. And like, as just a fan of like movies and content, like this is the best time of the year for content because this is when all the end of the year rankings come out. Like best movies of the year, best horror movies of the year, best wrestling matches of the year. But like it's just fun to absorb all that and like participate in all that stuff. And it helps make like that transition out of the holiday season and all that, like the end of the year, like that kind of like that rough sort of patch pass a little easier if you just kind of like reminisce on some of the best highlights of the year that is over.
Yeah, if it's more like subtly, if it's more graceful and you're just like, all right, then it's a little easier than being like, all right, here's another year, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And it kind of does help like hearing those lists and making them yourself or like seeing other people's, it kind of does like help you absorb the year a little better.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there was like this came out, or this happened. Like you're like there was some good highlights this year.
Well, it feels like closure too because the year's ending. You can kind of be like, all right, you can kind of break things down.
Yeah. And
put things into perspective and stuff. And like it's weird because you're like, holy shit, like that happened. And it's like that happened way back in March. It's like.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago at the end of the year whenever you're like I was even like coming up with some of the best WWE matches of the year. I was like trying to compile a list and I'm like, it's weird like adding stuff into this list that was like February and March because that feels like forever ago in ways. Like that's like before Mania, we're coming up on the next Mania, like this road to WrestleMania, you know?
And we're closer to that one than that last one.
But in other aspects, like things that were even a couple years ago feel like they were not long ago. Mm-hmm. But if you look back at like something that happened at the beginning of 2024. You're like, man, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I agree. Well, shall we introduce our last segment of the year for this? Well, I guess the Bend the Shits will be our last one, but this the segment we got here.
Yeah.
And the category.
What is the category?
Social skill games. So basically, I don't know how you want to loosely parameter like these aren't necessarily all. Some of them might be considered sports, but they're not really sports per se, but they're
like group activities.
They're group activities you could do at the family, the family fucking barbecue.
Yeah. Competitive.
Competitive things like that, or a party maybe, or even, a league or something over like the summertime, stuff like that. So, social skill game activities. Well, you drew first, so I think it's actually your turn to read first as well.
Yeah. Well,
so what do you got for me, just to set the course for what kind of round this is going to be?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of similar games this time.
Yeah,
but
you'll see our
main topic will be different.
Yeah, you'll see our trend as we're going about it.
So your social skill game, we played against each other and with each other many a times. Beer pong.
Oh yeah, beer pong's a good one.
Yeah, I still say we've been fucked a couple of times when we were partners.
Oh no, definitely. We were whooping the fuck out of those guys when that happened. It's house rules. Oh, your rules change.
That's the problem with beer pong.
Yeah, well, those people can fuck themselves.
But that is the thing. Like, depending on where you're playing, people can fucking twist your arm on shit and be like, "Well, this is how we do it here," and it's like. You gotta set all the rules before you start the game. You can't be telling me shit when I'm ahead, because then I'm gonna be pissed.
No, we gotta take up 4 more cups! What? How? Because we were winning?
Oh no, we hit a bounce and it dunked off another cup. That's 3. What the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, we were whooping their asses that game.
I feel like everybody has a beer pong story like that. That's the problem with beer pong.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody can fucking make their own rules and act like that's the way they've always played it. It's like, you invented this game.
No, beer pong though, it's always fun though. You can break it out during even if you have a gathering or it doesn't always mean a ballistic, chaotic time. You can play beer pong and just chill. It's a fun little game, just set it up on the table, just...
That's what I mean. There's only a number of games where I'm down to play when I'm drinking and I'm drunk and I'm socializing.
Yeah.
And it's games that don't require a whole lot of effort. And beer pong is one of those games. It's the most effort.
But that'll provide you a lot of excitement.
Yeah. You still have fun with it, but you're not having to focus the whole time necessarily. You're having fun while you're doing it. The most effort you go through in beer pong is chasing the ping pong ball.
Although it is fun though when you get a crowd around you kind of watching the game and the game feels big. You're like, oh, I'm fucking doing it!
You become Kobe Bryant.
And there's 20 people for some reason watching a beer pong game. But it's funny because everybody gets the table at some point. And when you get up there and there's a crowd, you're like, this game's got some eyes on it.
That's when it kind of does feel... It's fun too when it's kind of a tournament feeling when you're there's multiple tables set up and it's a pretty big gathering. Yeah, so there's somebody
I love
tables
family
all the time.
And friend tournaments and shit. I fucking love that. Tournaments are so much fun. Anyways, so it's gonna be beer pong versus everything else, other social skill games.
Alright, so how's it gonna go against the Gambit here?
Alright, well let's see.
First up, beer pong versus washers.
Oh man, I grew up playing washers.
Me too.
I fucking played a shitload of washers with my dad's side of the family,
Yeah,
with the sandbox and shit.
Yeah, we bought our own set of them. We'd play them in the yard all the time.
Did you guys play the version where because we built or somebody built them, I'm not sure, but it was they had it wasn't just the hole and around it. It was there was these poles too, and if you got it around the pole, it was a ringer. And a ringer would be 2 points, the box would be 1, and the can would be right in the middle. It would be 3 points.
See, we had a peg inside the can. So it would be 1 to get inside the box, 2 to get inside the can, and 3 to get on the peg inside the can.
Was the can like a little bigger than I wonder?
It was like it was I mean it was like it was the middle of the box.
Yeah. But it was like a cylinder.
Yeah.
So I mean obviously can, but it was like probably fairly decent size.
And then the peg was in the middle of the can.
Yeah.
So it was like dead center of the box was the peg.
Interesting. Was it like was it like on like the what? The peg?
Yeah, like the peg that you could like hit the ringer on was inside the can.
Oh shit. So like you had it to be in a further so that's okay.
So
that's
1 in the box, 2 in the cup, 3 on the ring. Or on the peg.
Okay. I was gonna say, but everybody plays their own version that is essentially the same point value and thus, pretty close to the same game.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up playing washers. That's like honestly right off the bat that's a pretty hard one because like washers is a big staple, like on that side of the, my dad's side of the family. Like, and now we play bags a lot there and stuff. We played on Christmas actually. We moved the pool table, and my dad, like, after he was, because we were all drinking a little bit that night, but the next day he couldn't even. He's like, oh shit! Like he remembered doing it, but he's like, I can't even believe we moved the pool table. Like got it off track because if you have it on level or your basement's on level, it throws the whole table off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're in the ball rolls and shit like that. The way it rolls. We'll get into billiards too. But like it throws everything off. But we set it aside to play bags indoors, and it actually was a good time. Me and Dad, we like flipped coins for partners and stuff, and me and Dad won. It was Katie and Corey, and then me and Riley played my dad and Corey, and they beat us the first 2 games, and we went up 3 straight on them. Me and Riley did, and I think they thought we were gonna lose. The youngins. We fucking whooped some ass. 3 games in a row.
Came back down.
Riley actually made some pretty damn good shots.
She probably plays a lot. So they got the
but girls like they're not always gonna play a lot.
Probably
like
during gatherings and shit though.
She does a little bit. She was good. She went
I don't
on
really play bags much unless I'm at a place that has them.
She went on like a few ball like run. Like she hit like 4 in a row, and like her grandpa was there, like Katie's dad, and he's just like, oh, he's like, I'm not leaving until these games. Like he's like, yeah, I want to see Riley, my granddaughter win, and stuff. So I was like, oh fuck, now I got that pressure on me because I'm her partner.
Yeah, there's shit.
We were doing So we just went. We played even more games after that first like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We played card games and stuff like that. It was a good time, good Christmas and stuff. But yeah, that is a tough one. Real tough because I know we can't pick an in the middle answer. But the thing is nowadays what I want to play more probably is like beer pong.
Yeah.
But like the nostalgia factor and like all the memories that Washers has brought like me and stuff over the years, it's like it's tugging on that too. You know what I mean? It's hard.
That's a game that if I'm at a function and somebody brought out Washers and they're like, yeah, you want to throw some? I would.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't feel like too much of an effort. It's the same kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, Washers is laid back. Like you can just throw some Washers and hang out.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, for the fact that I'd be more inclined. I wouldn't not throw it around, but like the game that I grew up playing has been replaced a lot with like cornhole bags and what I mean, like in a lot of ways instead of like the washer box. But the washers are legendary for sure. In the sense that I would be more inclined to playing beer pong now, I might say beer pong, but I have more of a historical connection through time with washers, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say beer pong at least tonight, just because I'm, drinking beer and feeling that vibe, and that's what I'd be more inclined to play in like the last 5 to 10 years maybe.
All right, so beer pong up 1-0. Beer pong or darts?
Beer pong.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy darts though. See, almost none of these games am I gonna really cut down though, because this is kind of an interesting segment. This makes it a little bit like different because like I don't know that either one of us like necessarily hate any of these games or anything like that, but some of them were just better or worse at, or like some of them were more fun,
Yeah.
And like I know that as a twist on it, but they all can be fun. Even darts is like a good time. But I don't know. I think the energy and the atmosphere of like a beer pong game sells it for me over. Darts is a good time, especially playing darts whenever you're drinking is a good time too.
Yeah, it's another one of those kind of social drinking games.
And you can play, you play that at the bar. We played, remember that night that me and you and Harry and Lynn
went? Drink at the bar,
beer and darts, and then we're like, let's start doing this on Saturdays or on whatever day.
Like Thursday, and then or so, some random ass day.
It was like COVID fucking right after that.
Yeah.
Right after that shit.
Yeah, we incidentally got pretty damn drunk that night.
That was fun. We drank 4 pitchers at least. We might have gotten a 5th one.
Everybody bought one, I think.
Yeah, everybody did. Yeah, it was fun. What'd you say? Is beer pong or
beer pong and darts? Yeah, so beer pong's up 2-0.
Yeah, beer pong probably. I like darts. No disrespect to darts though, but I just feel like the atmosphere right now would sell me more on playing a beer pong game instead of darts. I mean, if darts was there and somebody wanted to play and I was feeling up to it, I'd be like, oh, definitely throw around some darts too. So.
Yeah. All right.
What do we got?
Well, beer pong up 2-0. Beer pong or mini golf?
Oh man, mini golf is a good ass time.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's almost more fun too. Like it is if you have the right person, it can be fun as a duo. But like with a group, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mini golf courses too, they're always set up like really neat.
Yeah.
Like they're always like fun designed to just look at.
It's never like too serious, but it's serious enough to like towards the end, especially once you keep track and stuff, to like be like, oh fuck, like
how far back?
You don't want to finish it last.
Yeah. Do I got a chance at coming in first, or am I at least not going to be the worst?
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. No, I enjoy the fuck out of mini golf. Like I know you can't play it like all times of the year, at least outside. I'm sure there's indoor.
There is a lot of indoor.
There's
ones,
indoor ones across the but it's a great time to play.
They're more in like family fun centers. The indoor ones, like the outdoor courses, are the big ones, the intricate ones with a lot of design.
We always played them a lot at the Lake of the Ozarks when I was like a really fucking young kid.
Yeah,
like because we went down there. My aunt Cheryl, my dad's older sister, would she's always like lived down there, so we would like go watch her sing and stuff at the bar or bartend and just hang out and stuff like that. We'd also go to, maybe not when I was really young, go do that, but like we would do that and stuff, watch her sing and stuff, and go mini golf, like have a weekend there and stuff. Like when I was like this is when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all that, like really coming of age. But yeah, we would always do that, and like I have a lot of memories of playing mini golf. And I mean, see, that's a tough one too. I would maybe say mini golf a little bit over beer pong, and like it's not to say, because you can obviously play beer pong more of the time and it's a little more convenient. But like mini golf, when you actually get to play, it's a fun ass time for sure.
It is.
And that time me and you and Riley went was a lot of fun. Like that was one of the last times it was like
relevant.
Yeah, like relevant for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I've really went mini golfing since then.
Yeah,
like I've wanted to.
It would have been dope
to go for a while,
if we had gone in the daytime and the bar in the course would have been open.
Yeah,
just like, oh, I'll step over here, get like another drink.
Yeah,
it would have been great.
We played probably a few rounds then.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
So which one did you take there?
I would probably take mini golf, at least by a little bit.
All right.
Here, at least the way I'm feeling now.
So beer pong 2-1. This one is the one that's going to be kind of out of the blue that you won't see coming. My different one here. I don't know if you played this much, but it's one that you see pop up and shit. It's kind of like a fancy pants game. But beer pong or croquet?
I don't think I've ever played croquet in my life.
Not once.
I don't think so.
Bro, I had a croquet set when I was a kid.
Did you?
And we set it up and would whack it. But it's like, dude, you have to... Basically, they're like little archways, and they're kind of like a putter, but they're wooden, and they have like little rubber ends on the mallet, and you gotta like whack this heavy ball through all these archways. And if you can do it in less turns than your opponent, that's basically the point of the game. You gotta try to get it through this course of archways. But like, there's some where you see people like curving them through all the holes. It's like, I don't know how you can put because these balls are heavy, croquet balls.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it as a kid, but I haven't played it in forever. It is kind of like I don't know when it's like one of those games where I just imagine like fancy English people playing croquet. You know?
Yeah, they probably did.
It's like the rich business executive like putting in his office. It's like the English version is like rich business Englishmen going out and playing around a croquet.
Pool used to be a game of like a lot of rich people. You know, there'd be like a lot of money in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People would dress nice and wear suits to like the pool hall and shit.
That was like barfly game now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still big money.
Yeah,
games,
there are for sure. So yeah, by that one, I would have to give it to definitely but I would have to give it to beer pong.
All right.
Okay, I don't. Not that I remember, at least.
Yeah. What the fuck you doing honking out there? All right, so beer pong up 3-1.
Oh man.
Beer pong or ping pong.
Ooh, another good game.
I love me some ping pong.
Beer
That's like
pong?
something as a kid I always wanted was a ping pong. And the thing that's fun about ping pong, kind of like tennis, is you can play a game of ping pong, or you can just play. Let's see how long we can volley this thing back and forth.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's just as fun.
You can even set up the other table and put it upright, like just
Play
against yourself if you want to see how many times. I would probably have to say, through the like complexity of the game too, and like the intensity of it. Like, I mean, I definitely enjoy beer pong or ping pong too. I'm not necessarily the greatest at it. I'm not the worst at it. I'm not like the greatest winner I play, but like I definitely enjoy playing it.
Table
I
tennis.
would probably have to go with ping pong on that one.
It's an Olympic sport, man.
Yeah. What do we got next?
So 3-2 beer pong. Beer pong or badminton.
Oh, beer pong for sure. No, I like it, honestly. Like, badminton, we did have a net, and we acquired some rackets, some birdies, and shit like that. I'll never... This isn't, like, really much of a story, but, like, because I don't remember the context, but me and Corey would, like, a lot of times, him as an older brother and me as, you know, younger, we would fucking go in the backyard and just play games, and a lot of times it would end up me, like, him wanting to do something that I'd want to do, or I was losing badly in something and I'd want to quit, or something, but he knew he was going to beat me up, like, he was fucking 3 years older, you know, and, like, all these games, and, like, we were playing with a group of some of, like, the neighborhood kids and shit, and, like, maybe the Pinkleys were there and stuff, or, like, I don't even know, maybe Cheatham was there or something at the time, maybe not, I don't know. I don't remember the year as much as my memory is pretty fucking intact as far as like long term stuff. I don't necessarily know. It was probably like during the mid 2000s, but we got like the net set up, and I remember us just having groups on each side and stuff. And like I did something to piss Corey off. Like I don't know if I smacked the birdie away or I just fucking did something to like stop the game or whatever. I'll never forget him just bolting towards me and like, or like no, he was like sort of bolting towards me like, but he pulled up the net real quick and just, that's like how it ends so much is him fucking coming to try to tackle me and shit. Like when the game would go awry or I was like, I'm fucking done at this.
That's brothers in similar ages.
Lifted him above me and just bolt towards the tackle me. I remember him just lifting that net just because I was like pissed off and I was
up
done.
with a racket.
Oh yeah, no, he'd try to fucking beat me up all the time. And I probably started hitting him with it. Something.
Yeah, that was, I mean, as a younger brother, I always got beat up too, but more so like with neighborhood kids, we had these kids, the Cooks, for a while.
Yeah.
And they were 3 brothers that were in very similar ages. And they were kind of like just your like rough, rugged brothers, you know? And they were probably 2 years apart on every side. It was like the middle child, the youngest, and the oldest. It was like 6, 8, 10, or whatever, you know? And these kids fucked each other up all the time. Like, we would all gather at Aaron's to play neighborhood games. We'd play, like, pick-up football or, like, wiffle ball or whatever. And without a doubt, it would end with them 3 getting in a fist fight. Like, every fucking game. Yeah. It's like... or one of them grabbing the other one by the neck and like fucking throwing him down, and him running off crying. It's just like, bro, we're just trying to play a game here.
It ended that way a lot just because the older brother, whoever, would get pissed off at everybody. You fucking do it like this. Maybe not what the fuck, but still.
Yeah. As a younger brother though, yeah, anytime. I have multiple memories of like playing games with my brother and his friends and just it ending with like Devin acting like he was gonna pile drive me in a pile of dog shit, or like freaking Devin holding me down and Brandon acting like he was gonna dump a cactus on my head, but he didn't know that the cactuses didn't have roots. So the cactus actually fell out of the pot and fell right on my fucking face.
Oh my god.
Shit like that.
You get away with this shit in the 90s and in the early 2000s, let me tell you.
There's a lot more hanging out in the yard and just...
Yeah.
Parents weren't looking, you were just fucking playing games, Oh,
yeah.
And even generations before, they all experienced that even more.
Yeah.
They went off wherever the fuck
we
they
used to fucking go out there, throw rocks at each other.
We'd bust windows out and fucking run from the cops. It's like, what are you guys getting on us for?
Yeah.
Because I'm not back by dark. You guys are fucking hiding in alleys from the cops.
Oh, shit. What do you got?
So what was that? What were we even on? Badminton.
Badminton. I said fucking beer pong.
So beer pong is up, what are we at? 5-2?
Yep.
Alright. Beer pong or bowling.
I have a good time bowling too, man. I haven't been bowling in a long time either.
Bowling's another one that's fun with a group. Like if you get a pretty good group together.
Yeah. It definitely can be.
And bowling's one that like if I'm playing somebody that bowls, I'm going to get my ass kicked. But if I'm in there with a bunch of novices, I'm like, I'm pretty decent at bowling.
Yeah.
Like, I throw up a pretty decent game. But yeah, if somebody's in there and they know how to bowl, I'm like, damn, I'm not that, But just casually rolling the ball, I'm decent. I have fun. I went for my birthday a couple years ago with my family. It's like where I was like, fuck it, let's go bowl.
I was gonna say I'd always sort of wanted a surprise party, and the one surprise party that I had was on my 16th birthday, and it was at the bowling alley.
I remember having a party at the bowling alley as a kid.
But
at the roller rink.
I remember, I feel like I've always done like fairly decent. I mean, I don't put like a lot of curve on the ball. I just find the space that I'm trying to select, and I'll just throw it.
Yeah.
I'll just fucking throw with power.
I'm not trying to curve the ball.
I ain't trying to do that shit.
Learning how to curve the ball, you're inevitably gonna gutter it.
Of the few times I go in there to play with people that are not so impressive, I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to fucking curve my ball and get all fucked up on there.
So like, if I have a chance to try to win, fuck it.
No, I ain't fucking trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to fucking bowl. For the scarcity of it, I might take bowling a little bit over beer pong, even though like I really enjoy beer pong and bowling, but but I definitely don't bowl. It's a little easier to be like, oh fuck, yeah, we're gonna play some beer pong here, than just to kind of walk into, oh, I'm gonna bowl. Like bowling is now in every seems like a very much now and then thing,
Bowling is something that for a while I was like. I feel like because I'm good enough at it where I was like, if I actually could dedicate myself to going to a bowling alley like once a week and getting involved or like training a little bit, getting involved in a league, I think I could be decent. But I've never been like so into bowling where I've been like, I want to join a league, Yeah. And I've never felt good enough at my skill level that I'm at right now to where I could be like, I'm going to try to join a league because all I would do was fuck them over. And I'm not trying to do that either. But for the scarcity, you say bowling?
Yeah, for sure.
5-3 beer pong.
It's whooping some ass.
Beer pong or air hockey?
I'm going to have to go beer pong on there too.
Yeah.
I think the games can be a little more like monumental feeling, like the atmosphere, like we were talking about, like, you know, you being, I'm sure you being drunk or drinking has something to do with it too, 'cause you're like, everybody's watching and shit, and you're just having a good time. But, like, it can be a really fun atmosphere. It definitely provided us with a lot of memories and, like, more of adulthood time.
Yeah, air hockey's fun, but air hockey's also one of those games that it's almost more fun if you are, like, whacking it off the sides. You're like, if you're playing with somebody that just blasts it at your goal every time, it's not even fun.
I honestly, like, I always feel like people are going to bust my knuckles up with that fucking puck. Like, you're going to smack it and it's going to go right into my shit. That's what I always feel like.
It's more fun if you let that puck dance around like crazy.
Yeah.
On the rink than just trying to slam it in my goal. It's like, and I get that there's, I guess, some skill to that too, just like trying to, but it's like,
out of the games we listed though, I don't think it's in the upper 5 echelon. I think it's in the bottom 5.
It's very arcade game.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fun in the arcade if you have somebody to play with, but I'm not. It's also one that I'm not gonna like. Most of the time, I'm not playing a stranger in the arcade. If they're like, "Oh, you want to play a game?"
Yeah.
Nah. You know, I'm not that into
Bring your friends, bitch. What's the last one?
There's 2 more. It's up. Wait, is there 2 more?
Did you
it should be 2 more. Cause I still have.
It was 5-3 going into that one.
Beer pong over washers, darts.
Oh, maybe that was the 8th one though. Yeah. Well.
Washers, darts, croquet, badminton, air hockey.
Yeah.
So that's 5, and then 3 that you took over. So this is the 9th one.
Okay. Cool.
Beer pong or billiards.
Oh shit. Well, billiards has got the.
So that's your game.
That billiards has got the me playing it for a long time, and it's like not scarce, but I've had a lot of memories of playing like with people in big environments, playing some pool money games when I was out in California with Stevens even. Learning how to play when I was younger. I mean, like, and I'll still play here and there. I mean, I don't play a ton. I actually found a bar right down the road though that my aunt was singing at the one night I saw her whenever I met that Santa outside. Oh, yeah. And I was like, Santa, I gotta get a picture, man. He like hopped in the bar to have a drink for Christmas and shit. That was dope. But
I just got off his shift, man.
I know. He came in. He wanted to join the party. But there was a bunch of dartboards in there too, and there's at least 2 billiard tables, pool. So I'm like, fuck.
That was another.
And it's a bar. I might go hang out there and shit.
What place was it?
It's like this KT's Saloon place. They got like a bar side and then like an arcade kind of, some other games and stuff like that.
I know. There's some like hole in the wall bars
7 minutes.
Here I thought about checking out.
Straight down the road.
From here?
7 minutes.
From
here?
here?
From here. Or no, not from here, from my place. But yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like, because there is places, every bar is like a different vibe though, too. So it's like, there has been bars around here that I'm like, oh, it might be kind of cool to pop in and like watch a football game or something here and just kind of hang out and take in the vibe. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, what the fuck do I want to go to a bar for? Like, I can drink way cheaper here.
You can watch, if you can't watch the game at home, you can watch it there.
I could, yeah.
Yeah.
At times. But, like, a lot of the times, too, it's like, Haley's with me and shit. Like, I don't, like, if she wants to go and hang out, like, that's fine. We can go. Like, we have went to Felix's a couple of times and shit, and we just hung out and had some drinks and stuff. But, like,
great fucking atmosphere.
For the most part, I'm to the point where I'm like, I can watch most of the sports games I'm trying to watch at home, and I can drink a lot cheaper at home. So unless I'm like with a group, and we're like, oh, let's have a night, or I'm like, I've done it with my dad and Devin back in the day, like we would have a drink or two places sometimes and stuff. But yeah, playing bar games it's a vibe. Even those like little, I didn't add it in here because it feels just too much like an arcade game, but like the little skill like basketball shoot games in bars a lot of times, like that's a great time.
That's fun.
I kicked Anthony's ass And he talked all this shit in Colombia. He got all drunk. He's like, I'll kick your ass in this game. I'll fucking wipe the floor with him.
No, he wouldn't.
In basketball.
Dude, no, I mean, you've seen me school some people in billiards, like, during some of these episodes or before some of these episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say, billiards is not my game at all.
We got to play it.
You've been into it.
You got to fucking play.
I know you and your family have, like...
You have never, ever played a game with me. We're going to play. We're definitely going to play.
I've never really played any.
But
like,
need to play.
I've appreciated the game more than I've ever wanted to play the game. I'm like...
but you gotta, I played
darts.
I think
it's because I grew up, like... The only place that had a pool table when I was growing up was my uncle's house that we would go for Christmas on my mom's side. And this dude was particular as fuck about this pool table. So, like, growing up, I was like, bro, I'm not touching this motherfucker because I'm going to scratch the table. I'm going to do something wrong.
He gave you
and
PTSD.
He's going to be like, oh, I paid so much money for this.
Did that
fucked
happen?
It all up. No, because I never wanted to touch it. Because I'm like, I don't play this game. I don't know how to play this game.
So it's just always...
My first time playing this game is not going to be on this fucking table.
You hit the cue ball into the other balls.
Well...
You set yourself up for the next shot.
But that's the thing. Is I'm like pretty competitive with games with a ball. You know what I mean? Like
we can fucking go.
Like I'm for the most part...
We'll go.
And for the most part, games with a ball, I'm confident in my skill at them. You know what I mean? Any game involving a ball, I'm like, I can pick this shit up. I'll be fine. Like, video games, count me the fuck out. I'm not going to be good. A game with a ball, I'm like, I'll probably be able to conquer this. Pool has never... I am, like, worried that I am going to look so fucking silly trying to figure it out that I don't want it.
You can just but that's the thing. You can't fucking That's one of those chill games too. Like that's like one of the last places in like the world that you can just smoke indoors too. Is like the pool hall.
Yeah,
and just chill.
I've hung out in pool halls.
Yeah,
too.
and like you have a few drinks. You just get on the. I mean, like I could fucking dude. I basically taught. Not that he had never played, just kind of like you, but like I basically taught Stevens like how to sort of play like the right way. And like how to shoot and like how to angle for certain things and stuff like that. Dude, we won money in California. Like from fucking people we'd play, just goofs at the fucking bar and stuff. I honestly don't know how because I was drunker than shit some of those nights. And I was the only one drinking. But he was my partner, so it wasn't like I just got to shoot all the time. If I missed, he was up next for our team. Yeah. So I'm like... but no, we fucking won, dude. Like, we would play. Like, it was fun. And then, like, literally after, multiple times, we went to the fucking Jack in the Box, like, right next door to this bar. And we go get a munchie meal, and I would just... Dude, one time I almost fucking fell asleep in my food. I was fucking tired as shit coming from the bar.
Drunk as shit.
I was drunk, but I was tired. I was ready to fucking go home. Oh, man. But, yeah, we get the Jack in the Box, like, munchie meal. Dude, that thing came... at a great time at like 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Several times.
Jack in the Box munchie meals always come through late at night.
Remember when we got like White Castle at like 6 a.m. and we were up just staying up reading fucking our like restaurant reviews and shit for like Burger King.
White Castle and
that you remember that night?
Are the place. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
what the fuck did we do that night?
The food was awful. But the worst of all was there was an employee smoking weed in the parking lot.
With a marijuana pipe. Dude,
it's like, dude, what? I would give 0 fucks about the employee with the marijuana pipe at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah. He was like, the food was cold. Isn't that your first priority? Why the fuck would the marijuana pipe matter above the food being cold? You paid for that shit.
Unbelievable. I expect my 17-year-old Jack in the Box employee to be fucking impressive. It's like,
do you remember like what we did to end up there at like such a late hour that night? Because wasn't it just me and you?
We might have just been up, dude. I feel like at our place, when we had our place, we would just stay up watching shit.
Well, that was in like
Fox
that night though was at the latest 2018 when we did that. And we were like, because we might have been like shopping or doing some other bullshit, or
could have been.
It's like, what the fuck were we? Or we were somewhere, and they were like, oh, let's just go eat, and then you probably something. I was gonna say, what the fuck were we doing? A few of those nights, though.
Was that when we sat in White Castle?
Yeah.
I think that's when we had to go pick up Tyler from the airport.
I don't think it was the big ass burger night. I don't. Oh, what?
Because
I don't think
that
I
was
don't
the
think
only
it
time I
was.
can remember sitting in White Castle later.
Dude,
fuck.
No, it was like 5 or 6 a.m. and we were like somehow in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how the fuck that happened.
There's only a few times
It was
I
in
remember
Festus,
being
though.
at a restaurant at an ungodly hour in the night.
Remember me, you and Ethan went to like White Castle or no, it was like we were just talking about that Waffle House, and you like fall asleep in the.
It's usually Waffle House that it's like
they'll allow that
ungodly
shit.
hour.
They'll allow that shit.
Me and Aaron one time, Aaron Beaver, he's been on the podcast a couple times, and I know he won't care about the story because he's talked about more on this podcast. But we went in there one time at like leaving Cheatham's back whenever he used to do insane shit and like go to bed at like 3 a.m. and go get up at like 6:30 for work and shit.
That was insane.
we left his place at like 3 and we're like, fuck, you want to just, I don't really want to go home yet. You want to meet up at Waffle House. So we went to Waffle House at like 3:30 in the morning, fucking ripped up, you know? went in this place, ordered a meal, and there's the only other people in this place were these guys that were super fucking drunk, and they were on the other side of the restaurant. And we were high, so we're like, I don't want to, like, we were trying to not even make eye contact with these dudes, because it was like, opposite vibes, you know, you're like, I'm not trying to interact with these guys.
Yeah.
And like one of the dudes came over at some point. This is when I had like a shorter haircut and shit too, and he was like, man, I've just been thinking this since you guys came in here. He's like, I had to come over and say it. He's like, he points at me and Harry. He's like, you two, man, you guys remind me of Harry Potter and Ron Weasley.
Oh my god.
It's just like, that memory will never die. So it was just like 4 a.m. and we were all just fucking out of our minds in this Waffle House. And I had like the short brown hair and Aaron had like short red hair.
Did you go to the one in Festus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those motherfuckers were late as, like, were up, you know, like, were fucking open for a long time.
I don't think that Waffle House ever closed.
No.
Not on Christmas. Not any hour of the night.
Oh my god.
They were always open.
Diner, the old school diner feel.
Honestly, working a Waffle House in the middle of the night, though, would be pretty fucking chill. As long as you didn't have, like, unruly ass
Until, yeah, I was gonna
customers.
say, most of the time probably would be.
Yeah. A lot of times it'd be, like, truckers.
Yeah.
And some probably drunken high kids that wouldn't be too bad. But it'd be pretty chill.
You go to...
Is that it? Or did you... Oh, no, you had one more, didn't you?
No, billiards, I think, was the last one.
Okay.
The end score is probably like, I think 6-4, maybe.
Oh, you did have one more. But real quick, wiffle ball.
Wouldn't that be
was
11, though? Because I thought you said
No,
it was 5.
It was 5-3, so 6-3 in favor of beer pong now.
Beer pong or wiffle ball?
Yep.
Probably beer pong.
Yeah, I would say the same. I enjoyed wiffle ball a lot as a kid,
I
but
did
as an
too.
adult, it's just become a hassle.
So what is that, the end score?
It is 7-3 in favor of beer pong.
Well, yeah, but I took billiards, bowling, mini golf,
So it's 6-4 then? I feel like I'm too
so.
drunk to be
I
capable
thought
of this.
there
I
was-
didn't think I was drunk.
I thought there were...
So
no.
you took beer pong over washers, over darts,
Yep,
over croquet,
yep,
over badminton, over air hockey, over wiffle ball.
yep, 6.
And then you took mini golf,
Yeah,
ping pong,
ping pong.
bowling, and billiards. So
Okay.
6-4.
6-4, okay, yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Damn, yeah, beer pong still doing pretty well.
6-4.
A little above the pack. You ready for yours?
Yep.
Your main is gonna be mini golf.
All right. I can do with
Alright.
that.
Let's break it down here. First up, we've got mini golf versus badminton.
It's kind of like what you said. My badminton story is that was one game in high school in gym. I took like boys recreational games like junior year.
You take it seriously as fuck?
Well, that was the one game where I could kick anybody's ass in my class at badminton. It didn't matter if it was the most athletic dude, the football star. I could fucking wipe the floor with him in badminton. And it got my confidence too fucking high. I was like, Chris Dowd and Dylan Faulkner played me 2-on-1, and I beat both of them in a 2-on-1 game. And I was like, I am fucking unstoppable at this game. And freaking Coach Kate was like, I'll play you, fuck it. So at the end of that period, because I beat everybody, me and Coach Kate played 1-on-1, and the class gathered and watched us. And Coach Kate beat me 11-3. And I was like, I guess I'm not as good as I thought. I'm better than all you fuckers, though, so I don't want to hear it.
He knew. I remember Kate.
I always got along with him.
He wasn't bad. Some people really didn't like him, and like I really feel like you just kind of got to adjust to the way he is. But like he would even joke with you a little bit too. But like he seemed pretty serious a lot of the time. But he would joke, and he didn't seem like a bad dude by any means.
Me and him always got along. I feel like I was one of the kids in that class he liked.
He definitely came off as very serious, and that's true too.
But that didn't bother me, you know. Like I was just like, I kind of picked up on the vibe of who he was, and I'm like, as long as you're here and you participate in having fun, he's not gonna fucking bother you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're fucking something up or you're not trying to participate in his class, then he's going to have a problem with you. That's literally any gym teacher. They're the easiest to please.
So you're taking mini golf
over
badminton. All right, well, next up we've got mini golf versus air hockey.
And I would take mini golf again. It's, like we said, air hockey's fun, but it is one of those games where it's also who you're playing a lot of the times. Like your opponent makes it fun. Like that's any of these games, I guess. If somebody's too good at it, it's almost like you're taking the fun out of it. But like air hockey, if you just slap shotting at your goal, shit's not even fun, dude.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna bust my knuckles open, bitch. Just fucking knock it off the table.
Which happens a lot in air hockey too. It's supposed to just glide across, but if you hit that thing at the wrong angle, the puck flies right off the table. So mini golf.
Mini golf. All right. Well, we got mini golf next up versus darts.
Yeah, that's a tougher one. See, I play darts with my family. I feel like my dad and my brother get more out of it than I do. I enjoy it, but I also play it less than them because they have dartboards at their house. Yeah. So like they practice just on their own. So anytime I play darts, I feel like I'm always playing catch up. Like I'm always trying to, like I gotta like warm back up to getting better, and they're just on.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this ain't even fair. You fuckers have been throwing darts. I haven't.
Home field advantage.
It's not even home field advantage. It's home field advantage. We're playing in your house. It's just advantage because you have a dartboard and I don't.
It is going to be an advantage if they're playing at theirs. Yeah, somebody's like, oh, let me kick your ass at my thing at my house.
Yeah. Feel good about yourself. Yeah. I fucking never played this shit. No, but I do enjoy darts, and I feel like I'm pretty decent at them. Like, that's another game that's laid back enough to where if I'm drinking, hanging out with a group of people, I'll accept a game of darts because I don't have to put all my energy into it.
Yeah.
You know? That being said, I feel like I can have more, it's more of an event, and I can have more, like, belly laugh fun, depending on who I'm with, in mini golf. So yeah. I'll probably take mini golf.
Mini golf's cool, like the scenery of like the course and everything too, and like just seeing kind of like what your layout. There's almost nothing like going on like the next hole after you and your friends or whoever you were with just had trouble with the last one. You're like, oh fuck!
Like this one looks even worse.
Yeah. And you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a shit show. So you're gonna take mini golf, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
barely. That's probably the closest one so far.
Oh yeah. Well, next up is going to be mini golf or ping pong.
Ping pong's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, ping pong you can play multiple ways and it can be fun. You can play an actual game of ping pong, and that that's another one where if you're playing against somebody who's skilled at ping pong, it's like, son of a bitch, I don't stand a chance. Because you, like, some of the curvature you can put on shit or the slap shots you can do, I'm not fucking going to be able to return this.
It's nicer you can serve to somebody that doesn't know quite how to play, because you're like, I'm at least going to get my team a certain amount of points.
Ping pong is fun if you can volley. That's almost why I have more fun. Like, it's fun to play an actual game if you're against somebody who's not very good. But if you're both, like, just decent, it's so much fun to just be like, let's see how many we can volley back and forth, even. Like we did in tennis when we played. You know, we would try to just, that's like when you're just trying to develop the skill. It's almost
tennis is like big ping pong.
Yeah.
With your body.
That's why they call it table tennis.
Yeah, I was going to say, or table tennis is, just the small version of tennis.
But I have a lot of fun with ping pong. I might take ping pong. Because it's like, it was one of the things as a kid that I was like, I always wanted a ping pong table. We just like never had the room or the space or like, it was never we got a fucking foosball table, bro. And I was like.
I feel like you guys could have had a setup at one point that you had a room for a ping pong.
I wanted like a bubble hockey. Like, it's kind of like foosball, but it's hockey players. You know what I mean? Where it's like the dome. And you like move the guys with the sticks and you can spin them around and hit the little puck around. Mm-hmm. I wanted that or a ping pong table. And we never got either of them. We got a fucking foosball table.
Damn.
Probably was Devin. That's what Devin wanted. And I was a fucking younger child. And
yeah.
Fuck.
A ping pong table would have been dope for sure.
No, it's funny. We always talk about that, like, and you probably experience it. Like the younger kid gets babied a little more. But the older kid gets more. Like, the older kid gets the new clothes. The older kid gets the parents' old car and the parents' this. Like, that was me with my brother. He got all the new shit and he got all my parents' shit that they were, we got a new car, you get the car, you know. I didn't get any of that shit. I got my brother's hand-me-downs and then I had to buy the car. you know? But I did probably.
Baby. That's our first kid.
I did probably get a little easier treatment with my brother, but than my brother got because I was the baby. But I also.
They definitely got cracked down on like the grounding a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
They got in trouble.
So they like got the opportunity for a lot more initially. It seemed like, but also like they. And then like the later, it's like kids now are more civil. Like, people are just yeah, it's fine. You can drink downstairs with your friends at 16, whatever. It's like, what? You stick one sip and they'll be like, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
Yeah. What the fuck were you doing in here? Dude, yeah, I remember.
That's crazy.
I remember my parents would comment on everything growing up too, though. Like they did that with my brother, but they did it with me too. Like, my parents were just strict about certain things whenever we were underage. I think more so than some of my parents were. My friends' parents were. Like, I remember them, like, asking me, because there was, like, cigarette and cigar butts and a bonfire that I had when I had friends over. And they, like, asked me about that. Like, who was smoking? When we were, like, younger, though. We were, like, 16, 17 or whatever. And they did the same thing with Devin. Like, I remember as a kid specifically, we took Devin's car out for something with my parents one time. And they, like, checked his center console, and he had, like, White Owl, like, cigars in there. And they were like, what the hell's he doing? He smoking? They, like, brought him in and fucking questioned him about him and shit. It's so funny looking back on it now. Like, the worries of then,
Oh, yeah.
Like, my parents now are just like, stay afloat, pay your bill. Like, I'm an adult, As long as I'm on top of my own shit, they know what I'm up to. They don't care. I can live my own life.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, is, like, they gotta realize it's, like, you're going to anyway. Just like anybody, if it's anybody that's of age, it's, like, you're gonna make your own decisions. At the end of the day, it's, like, can be as involved as, like, they can be or want to be or are able to be or whatever, but it's like you're gonna they got their own life still to worry about, and now you're like this grown, or like we all obviously are, and it's just like everybody has their own sort of concerns, so you don't want to like over concern.
Yeah, we all just feel like we went from that transition so quickly though. From being like having to kind of answer to our parents and like get rides and we're all hanging out at this place this weekend to like fully handling all of our own shit, living on our own. Dude, like all of that happened very quickly.
These last 6, 10 or 6, 8, 10 years, whichever way you want to break it down, it went so fucking quick. If you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like
the quickest 6 to 8 years of my life for sure.
But next I got for you, I believe you said...
I took ping pong on that one.
Yeah, you took ping pong. All right, mini golf up 3-1. We got mini golf or cornhole next.
See, cornhole's a lot of fun, too. That's another game we were saying where, like, I will easily play a game of cornhole at a gathering if I'm drinking, hanging out.
Which is a similar game to walk.
Somebody drags out some cornhole. Hey, you want to toss some bags? Yeah. I'm pretty much never going to turn it down because it's just so simple.
It's easy to do.
So, like, it's developed into one of my favorite backyard games just because it is so damn easy and simple and you, like...
It's an easy agreed upon game to go play.
And even, like, you win, you lose, it's all just chill. You're just like, oh, fuck, yeah, we did it. Okay, next round. Oh, you guys want to take the table? Not the table, but you guys want our spot? You know... It's like, it kind of has became the backyard barbecue hangout game.
Yeah, it's definitely sort of won out in the last, like, many years.
That said, man, there's more of an aura and a fun, like, an event around mini golf. And, like, I'll probably take it for that aspect. Like,
I probably would, too.
It's mini golf it's just... And maybe I'm taking mini golf so much because I have wanted to play a lot in the past number of months, and I haven't.
It's
so
pretty
I got the itch.
It's pretty like special though, like mini golf, like going out is like you don't really get.
It's kind of like bowling. Much. Like you go, it's kind of you have to go out and do it. You know.
Although bowling is even a little easier to do and more frequently because it doesn't matter the weather. You can always go there. Mini golf, certain courses you're not going to get to go play.
And I feel like
unless it's good weather.
Even just here on Watson, right down there and right up there, like a mile this way and like half a mile this way, like there's bowling alleys.
Yeah.
There's bowling alleys everywhere.
There is.
There's not as many mini golf courses, you know. Bowling alleys and pool holes, they got a lot of them, you know.
Yeah, they used to have more pool holes though.
You'll be able to basically anywhere you move, you're gonna find a bowling alley and pool hole, though. You know, pretty close, at least.
Or a bar with pool tables.
Yeah,
because not a lot of places have. They used to have more than there used to be. Dude, at the fucking beginning of the 1900s, there was like a shitload of pool tables and different pool games and stuff like that. And then, because it's also a game that it didn't have to be. They could make that without having the technology they had 50 years ago. You know what I mean, or 20 years ago, or you know what I mean. Like they could do. So like there was once upon a time a lot.
Well, bowling alleys too. They like when the first bowling alleys they made, they had the staff people that would go and set the pins back up at the end of every round and return the balls.
But like in billiards, like you can play pool, inside and stuff like that. Doesn't matter to like the weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I always
do, like we said, but it's just more times than not the mini golf courses that are inside. There's not just a place that's
and there's not as many of them inside.
Either. It's mini golf and an arcade and everything else. Like it's usually in a family fun center.
Usually the outside ones are better though and more complex.
They're usually bigger, a lot bigger.
Yeah.
The one at America's Incredible Pizza that was indoors and it was glow in the dark and it was like
sick.
It was like a Route 66, so like took you around America. That one was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was an indoor one.
But no, I was gonna say it's like the other thing with like billiards is just it's got its own aura and vibe, that grittiness, that smell of smoke, the crack of a pool fucking ball set.
Yeah.
Just smoked and fucking just that whole the music, you could play music and shit in there. It's like it's just got its own
so I was saying
entirely own atmosphere.
Pool and a bowling alley. Both of those are like a vibe within themselves. You know what I mean? Like pool in a bar room or pool hall and then like a bowling alley. They're just you go to those establishments to play that game, but they're like their own vibe.
Or to drink and then do that.
Even still, you're playing that game, but they're
Yeah.
like a drink and smoking kind of game, you know?
But pool and fucking cigarettes have went together for like 150 years.
And bowling alleys too. Most bowling alleys you can smoke in still, you know?
That's crazy. So you're taking mini golf over cornhole?
Yeah.
All right, next up we've got mini golf or laser tag.
Man, they're both kind of like, you can find both of these things in family fun centers, actually, a lot of times.
Definitely.
Laser tag's fun. Laser tag pisses me off sometimes. I'm the kind of guy, I want to see the whole course. If I'm in a laser tag spot, I'm trying to run up every ramp. I'm trying to see behind every wall. I'm trying to go everywhere. And that usually gets me shot the fuck up in laser, because I run into everyone. But I want to see the whole course. Laser tag pisses me off because there's people. Usually the people that only get hit a few times a game. You got to flush these fuckers out. People will hold a position, get behind a wall, and just snipe motherfuckers all game. And that shit pisses me off, bro. That ain't fuck... That's like... I get it. It's like army strategy shit. This ain't the fucking army. This is laser tag. Get out and fucking play.
They're trying to win, man.
You sit behind a wall and fucking... Oh, you feel good fucking shooting up a bunch of 7-year-olds' vests. Fuck you! Run around the course.
So you taking fucking...
That's a game where I feel like no matter who you play with, I always end up losing and being pissed at the end of laser tag. So I'm taking mini golf.
Yeah.
Laser tag is fun though. It's fun to like put the vest on and go in there and shoot around.
I would probably still go mini golf also, just because it's...
I haven't played laser tag since probably Calvin's birthday a couple years ago.
Damn. Yeah, it's been... I mean, I've certainly mini golfed more times in my life than laser tagged.
Yeah. I feel like every time I've played laser tag, basically, it's been at a birthday party.
Yeah. Well, next up we got mini golf versus yours to me, beer pong.
Man, I think I just have more like standout memories with it. Like a lot of like just fun times with friends. And because we've been drinking, I might take beer pong at the moment. But that's just because like I have a lot of memories with beer pong, you know? That even when I'm older, I might not play beer pong for, decades when I get to be older, but I'll still remember throwing down with friends back in the day. You know what I mean? Playing beer pong.
It's one of those games you don't need much, you don't need any athletic ability either. No. You just stand there and you fucking try to aim it. You need a little bit of skill, but not
like we said,
athletic ability.
Fuck anybody else making their, we don't play it that way here. Yeah. We do fucking...
It's like,
beer
why?
pong should be simple.
Why? Because I just eliminated 5 of your cups? Now the rules are different?
Well, we don't do the bounce cup. What do you mean? Or, we doinked that one.
So, what is
we touched this cup on a bounce, so it's also eliminated. You gotta tell me this shit before we start playing, or it's not fucking relevant.
Yeah, so does that rule start fucking now? Or what?
So yeah, beer pong's another one that can get me kind of livid with people, but it's a lot of fun. If you beer pong should be simple. I don't know who started. It's probably fraternities. I know exactly who started. It was definitely fraternities that are like, we do house rules at Kappa Bay fucking, we do this. No, fuck you. Kappa Phi Beta house, we play this way.
Fuck all those spies, anything.
So I feel like that's probably where house rules started, was frats. And then everybody just took it. In my basement we play like this. What the fuck are you talking about? You got one table and you play once every 6 months. You don't have your own fucking rules.
Yeah, and like your rules are not the fucking end all be all of where we're at right now, bitch.
Yeah.
Like your house rules. So if that's the case, you're taking beer pong, you said?
Yeah.
That gives fucking mini golf I believe a 6-2. No. Maybe I'm fucking this up.
I don't know what's up with us in these lists.
7. I think it's like a 5-2 lead mini golf's got. So mini golf's already got the half. Next up is mini golf or wiffle ball.
Yeah, mini golf. We were kind of talking about that earlier. Dude, I grew up loving wiffle ball. Like, I played it with the neighborhood kids all the time. And I was good. But I feel like I was good because we played it so much that I got my skill down with it. I knew, like, when I'm batting playing wiffle ball now, I whiff that ball so many times before I finally hit it. And I probably did that as a kid, too. But I just remember the memories of fucking cracking that ball. Because we played so much that I got good at it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I have, like, a lot of great memories in Aaron Carroll's backyard. Fucking smoking some grand slams and shit and feeling like a hero. But, like, modernly, anytime I played wiffle ball recently, it's gone tragically. We never get through a game. Everybody's drunk. I don't fucking even want to be out there playing. I'm like, when are we ending this shit? I got a bat. Fuck. Can I just be all-time pitcher?
Wiffle ball.
I just get tied into it a lot of times in modern history. So I'm going to take mini golf for that aspect. Loved playing it as a kid, though. Same with football. Like, we played a lot of tackle football, like from Aaron's sandbox to his tree stump.
Mm-hmm.
That was the football field. And then we'd set up bases for wiffle ball, and we'd run bases, so it was kind of like baseball. And I used to piss everybody off in football, too, when we played Aaron's yard, because we had an unbeatable formula. I would just run a slant route, and I was quicker than all of the cooks. So if I caught that slant route, I was gone. And we would just go up, like, outrageously high. And they would end up either fucking tackling me, like, late and getting, like, fucking unsportsmanlike conduct, and then they would end up fighting, getting in a fist fight, or some shit would happen. Great times, though. Looking back on that, dude, there were so many, like, cutthroat games with the neighborhood kids, and they always involved football and wiffle ball.
The cooks, man, they were fucking up.
There was three, like, they were honestly a great time, because they made it, they, like, were able to complete our lineups and give us, like, full teams, you know? Because, like, when they moved in, it was 3 boys. And if they got one of their older sisters to come play, too. And then, because before then, it was, like, me and Aaron and Riley and Kelly. And that was it. And, like, I'm not holding anything back on Riley and Kelly. I love them. Love them. Great girls. Growing up, great time. They were not as into sports as me and Aaron. So me and Aaron, we would have to split up between, I get Riley, I get Kelly, and you get the other one. But then once the cooks moved in, it was like, we could split the cook boys up on teams, and it was like, it made for more full lineups, you know?
So you guys could have somebody to beat the shit out of?
Or a lot of times we could either split up, or we'd, like, bring one of the cooks on our teams, and that's usually what caused the fights.
Yeah.
Is the cook that ended up on our team would start talking shit to their brothers and cause a fight.
That's how it goes, man. Those backyard games were intense.
They did. They felt like NFL games. So they were all out there talking shit to each other.
All right. Well, you said mini golf over wiffle ball, huh?
Yeah.
Well, next up, we've got mini golf or billiards. A nice game of pool.
I mean, just for the fact that I've never really played pool, I gotta take mini golf.
You gotta play pool. You played some games, but you gotta play. We're gonna go down the street from motherfucking my place. We're gonna bang it up in there. We're gonna fucking.
I don't want to play in public. Are you fucking?
We're gonna. Oh no, we're doing that. You had your chance for like 2 fucking years.
I appreciate.
I'm gonna invite like 30 people.
I appreciate. Yeah, well, you can play with all them. I appreciate pool. It's one like
we're playing
like bowling and like darts. Like they have pro leagues. Like people get really good at them. People invest a lot of time in them.
Mm-hmm. I
don't take anything away from them. I've just like I played bowling, you know. I never felt. Maybe it is like a trauma fucking trigger. Maybe it's because I like got that in my head as a kid that I'm like, I ain't fucking with a pool table.
Probably. You should,
but
we'll break it open and we'll end that.
Yeah, I've never been one to want to play pool. It's, you know what? I have played a game of pool with Roger and Tyler in Texas. When we went to Texas at Billy Bob's, that like famous bar in Texas, I played a game there because Roger was like, "Oh fuck," he just like paid for a number of games. So we played, and I didn't even feel bad because Roger was drunk and he was terrible too. He was fucking smoking the ball off the table and shit. So I didn't care.
I miss some shots all the time that I should make, especially when I'm drinking. It's not a good time.
But yeah, I was terrible at it. That's what I think. Like I said, I pride myself on being decent at games with a ball, and I feel like I just missed the mark with pool. I'm like, I'm too old at this point to start trying to get good at this game. I'm not gonna go out there at 28 looking like a fucking fool now. I could have looked like a fool. God. I could have looked like a fool when I was 16.
You could have looked like a fool at 26 and played.
Even then, that's too late. If I haven't played a game by 22, I ain't playing.
You did play. You said you did play. No, we're gonna play. We're gonna go down the fucking bar. We're gonna get fucked up. We're gonna have a good time and play.
Yeah, maybe if I am a little fucked up, maybe I'll.
But we go down there. We get
too,
whether we get a few people to join us or not, we could go down there at that bar. Well, and and that's the thing too. They probably even fucking hook us up, give us, oh yeah, you guys can play some games. Now that my aunt's fucking sang there and hung out and stuff like that, knows the owners. And they have some darts too. They got a full bar. They got a dance floor. I mean, kind of just the rest of the floor.
Yeah. See, well, that's all. That's how I'll get some of my credibility back, is I'll not be so terrible at darts after I'm horrible at pool.
But yeah, that place is it's like a 1.8 miles away. It's really close. But yeah, in the Oberweis is right there too with the fucking glorious ice cream.
Oh, it's that Oberweis
right next to
is
that.
Is it right by yeah, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. The place behind it. Is it behind it?
Yeah.
Overwise? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep, it's that little complex of other...
Is it in a plaza?
Yeah, and right over to Overweiss is where my grandma lived, where my grandfather,
That's like decently close to where Haley lives, actually.
It's right there, fucking, by the... Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Yeah.
By Overweiss, the one, yeah. That's the only Oberweis that I even really know the location of.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there a few times at Oberweis.
They got some great fucking ice cream and stuff there.
We went there.
Yeah, see, we could do that. We could fucking hook it up over there. There's a lot of stuff, man. You could fucking make that an Uber route. We don't even have to drive.
Oberweis has some honestly incredible milk too. If you're buying milk from there, it's damn good.
Yeah, they do. No, yeah, we always went there, and that was literally right next to where my grandma's, where their house was, my dad's mom.
Yeah.
And he still lives there, Hans, her husband.
Hans Gruber?
No, Hans Vischer, the German.
I was gonna say Hans. He had to be German.
My dad. I was gonna say I didn't actually know. I mean, I haven't spoken about him because I actually didn't really get to know him that well. But my grandpa, that was actually my dad's dad, passed away when I was only maybe 4 years old. I don't really remember him.
Yeah, my grandpa's passed away when I was really young.
I don't really remember much about him at all.
Before I was born,
honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some pictures where that I was, he was holding me or whatever. I don't, then that's the only timeline I have. I'm that does not leave me a ton of memories. I do have moments and memories from the time I was 2, 3, and 4 still, even 5, because I remember our first house. I remember all that, and we were out of there by 4.5. So
I think my earliest memories are 4, maybe 5, but I think 4.
But I remember, pretty long way. But yeah, no, we so anyways, yeah, he still lives there, and I mean, he came out whenever she was singing just a week or 2 ago, and we hung out there and stuff like that. And I didn't get any Oberweis, but yeah, it's literally right down from the new setup.
Yeah.
But I guess you answered
Yeah, that's it for that one. I think I got one more.
Yeah, so you took mini golf over, I think.
Basically everything.
I think you're like 7-2 right now. Only taking the Pongs over mini golf.
Yeah.
Next and last, mini golf or bowling?
Yeah. I think I'm taking bowling. I think that has to also do with the fact that it's more accessible, and I feel I have a great time mini golfing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like
The
my
fun
skill
level is probably can be equal
Yeah.
at times.
my skill level doesn't like equate to how I'm answering for all these, but mini golf and bowling are about the same on fun level for me. Depending on the group you have, they can be great times, either of them. And I'm better at bowling, so for that, I'll pick bowling.
Yeah, I'm not that great at ping pong, but it's a really fun
ping pong's
game.
fun.
But anyway, yeah, that pretty much wraps the segment. We had a 6-4 split on mine, which was the you had for me rather, which was, would you have ping pong, beer pong, beer pong, and you split 7-3 for mini golf, 7-4-3 against.
Yep.
Well, it was the last segment, this segment of the new year, or before the new year, I should say. And I guess that about wraps it. And we will be back.
That was a fun one, though.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, that was always, I always thought that one would be interesting because what it would amount to. But now that we break it down, I'm like, some of the games that I said I would maybe prefer or would be close with beer pong are games that I'm like, those are really fun games. Bowling, billiards, fucking mini golf, ping pong. Those are like the best. Those are like some of the best ones out of the group, I think. But anyways, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more good, the bad, and the shits round, and we will get to it when we come back. This is our last episode of 2024. Stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Casting the Spotlight, episode number 160. The last episode of 2024, the milestone known as 160. Speaking of Superman, Josh Allen, he's fucking trying to be Superman for a franchise that went down 4 times in a row over 30 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, in a lot of recent years even, they've had a lot of hope that's been squandered.
Yeah.
Now they haven't made the Super Bowl, but they've had a lot of years in recent history where people have had a lot of hope. You know, and because we're here again
because of one man standing in their way.
Yeah.
And like it or not, the league is going to have to do something about the Chiefs if any of them want to get to the big game. You know.
Yeah, they're definitely the team to beat at this point. I mean, they've proven 2 years in a row, and as frustrating as it's been this year, they're a 15-win team right now. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't think their record shows better than previous seasons, but like everybody's like, this just doesn't feel like that Chiefs team that's like could pull out that lights out kind of game on you.
They didn't have any wide receivers like last year though before playoffs, and like now they actually have guys and they're getting back to full strength as they enter the most convenient time of year to be at full strength and ready to go.
Yeah, the Chiefs have just been that team these past number of years, man.
He's kept, guys out of the Super Bowl like Brady did in his day.
Yeah.
Guys just never made it.
I mean, they usually did eventually.
Yeah.
But it was always the Brady test. Peyton made it eventually. Big Ben made it eventually.
You're going to have to go up against a huge fucking, and that is the one obstacle. That is the one obstacle he's never done. Like he's never been past the Chiefs in the playoffs. And like Lamar has never really even won more than what? Has he won any games in the playoffs?
He won last year, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Because the Chiefs would have the number 1 seed, right? No, they didn't. The Bills are the number 1 seed because the Chiefs played in Buffalo.
Yeah. The wild card weekend, the Chiefs played the Dolphins at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cold ass game.
I just, man, at some point or another, they're all gonna go face to face, like with him, and like I really feel like Josh Allen is the main person standing between like us not seeing a Super Bowl with the Chiefs
year,
again, for the three-peat. He's the main guy standing in the way of the three-peat, in my opinion.
I mean, Lamar and the Ravens have gone on stretches where they've looked like a team that's could be pretty unstoppable. They go on pretty hot runs, but I have more faith in the 2024 Bills week to week.
Yeah. They just seem
the Chiefs
relentless. You've seen the Ravens kind of fall apart against certain teams.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I feel like that's every year with the Ravens, though. And I'm not like trying to sound like a Lamar Jackson hater or anything. He's obviously a great player, but it's like he's one of the players in the league, like, that analysts kiss the ass of very hard, and it gets kind of annoying. Like, he's one of the ones that they will make any excuse for why it's not his fault when their team's not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always, that just takes away from the player for me a lot of times. When every analyst, it's like, why do you all decide to do this with the same people? It's like, some people they give absolutely no. That's what I think is what's so frustrating about it, is other players, they get like no leeway. It's like if the team starts crumbling, it's, oh, this guy's fucking up. He's going to have to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, it's clearly he can't be the issue. It's got to be the coaches or the other players. And Lamar Jackson's one of those guys where it's just like, he's obviously great. He's one of like maybe arguably the best dual threat quarterback of all time. But fuck, man. He's had no playoff success like a lot of other guys. He's never been to the big dance like a lot of other guys. He can hardly perform in the playoffs, and he doesn't get any of it like anybody else does. He's like impenetrable when it comes to that.
That's the thing. We start talking about the teams, and you're like, oh wow.
Like Josh Allen already has that narrative. Oh, is Josh Allen going to be able to win in the playoffs? Why aren't people saying that?
He can win in the playoffs. He just can't beat the Chiefs, and like most anybody else can't either until proven otherwise. It's tough because somebody like the Chargers going to stop the Chiefs? No. It's just not going to happen. Not whenever it matters most and they're playing at the highest level. Like, the only team capable that's reliable that I feel like could do it is maybe the Bills. I mean, like, the Ravens circumstantially can beat them, but in a big spot, in a big game where Pat's been many times and Lamar hasn't and hadn't seen a lot of success, there's no way. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, going head to head, I would root for Lamar. I would say
it'd be great to see him do it,
but you know,
this is the real world. Happen. Nobody is taking it from like 2 years without even their best team, and this might be a better team than at least they had last year. This is for sure a better team than that team.
Yeah, last year there was a lot of talk about them too. This year it's just that even the worst of teams, like they're closing out games close. They're winning them.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, they haven't had that performance. They did kind of against the Steelers on Christmas. But they've had very few performances where it's been like, this is that dynasty Chiefs team that can just fucking slaughter people. You know, it's been like they've
won a bunch of different ways.
Everybody's felt like, oh man, they could beat them almost every week. They don't.
Only the Bills have.
But yeah, that's the thing too, is the Bills have done it. But Josh Allen does beat Pat in the regular season more often.
Almost all the time. And Pat always beats him in the playoffs.
Yep.
It's not the side of the equation you want to be on.
No. You know you can beat them.
Yeah.
You've done it. Now you just have to do it then, and that's what's so frustrating.
This is going to be... All eyes are going to be on this playoff, man. Like, I can't... It sucks whenever you start to really break it down, though, because you're like, you know some of the lesser seeds, especially on the AFC side. You're like, oh, well, it'll be great for some of them. Some of them are not going to last long. The NFC is a little bit more interesting as far as competitiveness and what teams can go where. You know what I mean? Because the top teams of the AFC are dominant as fuck, but, like, the other ones that are in there, they're not going to have a trophy at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's tough.
That's the thing too. It's a lot of these seasons, throughout me even watching football. I watched the Rodgers doc recently. His 2020 and 2021 years were incredible years. 13-win years, MVP years.
He had 3 13-plus win seasons in a row. Yeah. He was the only quarterback ever to have that, at least at that point.
So, absolutely lights out, but it's not very talked about or remembered now because they didn't walk away with the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate circumstance of those kind of situations. Is a lot of times, obviously, stats guys, analysts, real big football fans, they're not going to forget stuff like that where they're like, oh man, he was incredible some of these years,
it's their job to know the facts.
Stuff. And you won't be forgotten because of that. If you have great years or you put up stats or you put your name up there with some of the greats of all time, you'll be remembered pretty much forever, but you just won't have those highlight reel moments where it's like, oh, he had this incredible season and there he is lifting the Lombardi, That has to be the most frustrating too. With Joe this year, but especially with Joe, it's a whole other circumstance. With Rodgers, you have an MVP caliber year. You throw under 10 interceptions. You throw over 40 touchdowns. Literally just an incredible season. Mm-hmm. And you have the highest of hopes. You're the number 1 seed. You're like, this is the fucking year, bro. And then you lose out before even making it to the championship of the conference. It's just gotta be soul crushing. You're like,
yeah,
dude, I felt like we had it all.
And you work, it's so devastating because you work so long and so hard on that victory. And for it to come up short, it's it's just crumbling.
Or Brady and Moss and the freaking 16-0 Patriots going all the way and then losing it in the Super Bowl.
So they won 18 games in a row, didn't they?
Yeah, because they won divisional and conference championship.
Insane. Lose the most important of the year to dramatically the underdog.
Yeah.
That was a huge dog win. That was one of the biggest ever.
I remember feeling like a baller too because it was 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I bet $10 on the Giants, and I had $12, and I fucking walked away the winner.
Who is it that you bet? You said
Jesse Harmon.
That's who I thought. That's who I thought it was. Yeah, I won some money where I didn't even know what the hell I was doing when I was younger. They're like, oh, we got this board, put a score on here, and blah, blah, blah. I picked the right score and shit. I just went. It was before I really knew how to be oh, well, if this happens and this happens, it could be 20, you know what I mean? I was just kind of
boards.
Yeah, I was just, when I was younger, I was just I guess a touchdown, and then, but that was all, it was 7s. I was I'm not going to, dissuade from that. I'm just going to fucking bet 21 or 28 to 21 or 21 to 14, safe bet it. Occasionally that's right, but most of the time now there's a field goal or two or
a lot of times.
Potentially 2-point conversion.
Sometimes, yeah, that too. They try for those a lot.
Missed extra point.
Yeah.
Multiple field goals.
Safeties happen occasionally.
Not often, but maybe. That's the weirdest fucking thing. The Ravens, they dog shit on the Texans on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. The Texans, they had a safety. And nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, that was a really weird final. I told Haley because she was messing with her Book Nook thing at the time when I was watching. I was just you would almost rather be beat 31-0. 31-2 is just
that's some silly Billy bullshit.
That almost makes your offense look more pitiful because it's the only points that were put on the board were by your defense.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Speaking of football.
Yeah, we want to get into the topics here
real
quick.
It. One last round, the good, the bad, and the shit. So we got 2 each for the year of 2024.
Want me to go?
Sure.
All right, so I don't think anybody. Before I get into that, I don't think anybody's taken away from this guy's season by any means. Saquon Barkley, we know he's having a great year.
Mm-hmm.
He's over 2,000 rushing yards now. If they let him play next week, big chance he breaks Eric Dickerson's record. Probably won't let him play because they're going to sit all their starters. He's probably not going to win MVP because they always give it to a quarterback.
Since like 2012. Wasn't it like Adrian Peterson the last one or something like that?
Yeah. So, like, Saquon Barkley's 2024 season as a whole, do you feel like it's, like, going to go down in the record books? Is it going to get its fair nod, or is it kind of getting overshadowed and overlooked by people talking about Josh Allen and
people have given it a
Jared Goff
pretty
and Sam Darnold?
Good amount of attention, I feel like. But similar to possibly what we were talking about off air earlier, Darnold's success in maybe staying with the Vikings, how the Eagles did Saquon's season might be tied to their playoff performance too. You know what I mean? Like, the further they go, be like, oh man, it's Saquon had a hell of a year. Like, or if they get to the Super Bowl, or if they, but like, especially if they get knocked out early, I mean, they'll maybe recognize he had a great year, but it's going to be about the playoffs and who takes victories, after that.
Once again, stats-wise, record book-wise, he's obviously going to be up there forever.
He's going to be the hottest guy in the league at the start of the next fantasy draft.
Yeah.
He'd probably be number one. I don't know why he wouldn't be, and he's been number one, but it's been years.
It's going to be sketch to draft him, though, bro. It's like
I know.
CMC all over again.
I know.
Like, you take the chance
I
to
know.
draft him early because he had a great year, but he's been injury-prone.
I'll tell you what I don't want. Probably to draft first.
Yeah. I as horrible as it is to say, I might pass on him. I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, he's in incredible shape.
And
he
this
did
year
some crazy things.
Was
in the field.
fantastic.
It was. But because he has I see what you mean, though. Because he has that history, do you trust that he's going to be able to... I mean, this season was historic, though. It was
for him.
They've given it a lot of attention, but there are just a lot of NFL storylines in general. Oh, what the fuck are the Cowboys doing? Aaron and the Jets. There's the possible three-peat for the Chiefs. Oh, Josh Allen and the Bills. There's so many things that are happening.
The Lions.
That and so it's like, I feel like they've given it a decent amount of attention. Definitely not like an overdone amount on it, but I feel like we've gotten a lot of good information. Like, at least the stuff I consume, I try to like look at a lot of different stuff. But I mean, I had him on my fantasy team this year, and he no doubt helped propel me forward a lot of those games. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's had a fucking great year. I mean, I think this season has been just absolutely incredible, though.
It has been. It's been his career best, for sure.
He seems like he's just a different player than he used to be. He looks stronger, faster, and just more inhuman. He can do crazy shit.
Yeah, he's pulling that backwards hurdle, and he's definitely pulling all the tricks out of the hat. Like, he's a strong runner, but he's also just quick and crafty. Like, Derrick Henry, he's kind of had a revival year too, but Derrick Henry's the strong runner. Like, he's like, if Derrick Henry gets an open lane, he'll take the fuck off, but Derrick Henry will also run through your face.
Yeah.
That's just a big boy. Like, that. Derrick Henry is insane for a running back.
And he's
his size.
30 now, isn't he?
He's already up there. Whenever running backs are usually kind of like dwindling down, he's
a freak of nature, though. Saquon did separate their margin by a good bit, though. I think Derrick Henry's having the second best running back season.
They were really
close
in incredible shape, though, those guys.
It's tough. I mean, I know as we get closer and closer in the playoffs, though, it's going to become a lot about the quarterbacks rather than individual stats, too. It's going to become the quarterbacks, the team they're leading, what they can do for their team, and, the kind of experience they have, or it's going to become a story of the guys, that are giving you a place at the table. You know what I mean? But, I mean, his season has been, all-time shit. I would maybe say we'll see how they interpret it after it's all over. But I would maybe even say it might be a slight hair underrated.
Yeah, I kind of think that too. Just because there's so much going on and so many stories,
there is.
It's like, I mean, this guy's almost broken the all-time rushing record, and it doesn't feel like there's been enough talk that it's like this guy's having one of the best running back seasons of all time. You know?
Oh yeah.
So it's like been the revival of the running backs.
It's been crazy because like it feels like the Eagles talk goes in spurts. It's like, all right, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles is part of the conversation, and the other part of the conversation when they bring them up is like all about Saquon, his performance. Mm-hmm. But it's like they also have, you know, all these other QBs, guys, like, you know, and I'm glad that like I've consumed, I feel like a pretty, as far as like especially the relevant playoff teams, a pretty equal amount of info about like a lot of them. Like, yeah, the Chiefs are pushing their three-peat thing. The young Packers are trying to get on the board. The Bucs are still fighting for a playoff spot. Hopefully they get that. You know, there's a lot going on.
The scrappy Lions chasing their first one. The unexpected Vikings chasing their first one.
Yeah.
The AFC, the Bills, they kind of have the like Cinderella story a little bit. They're like the Cinderella story of the AFC, and the Lions are like that at the end.
The Bills versus the Lions, or the Bills versus like the Vikings, would be like America would be like, holy shit! Like it would probably be a insane Super Bowl for everybody to see.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Either one of those, and that's a fresh matchup too.
And that feels pretty likely to happen if the Bills can win in the AFC.
I don't. All of this is tied to Allen. Like almost this entire fucking thing. It's like every bit of pressure. And speaking of which, it's interesting because that Superman movie's coming out in 2025. But we, you know, opened up talking about him as like Superman, but he's had to play that role, and like, you know, he don't have to. He can't even be Clark Kent for fucking 5 seconds in the game. He has to be Superman the whole fucking time.
It's like Joe Burrow too.
Pat Mahomes
potentially getting the playoffs.
Pat Mahomes only has to put the cape on a few times a game. Yeah. He's got, you know, but like it's crazy because it's amazing how good he is, and yeah, it's like you love to see that, but at times it looks like he's like, fuck, I'll just win the damn game by myself then.
Just running it in on his own.
3 in like one game, and like he just tries his ass off to like
the one play with him and Amari Cooper in the snow against the 49ers was crazy too, when he chucked that ball to Amari, and Amari was about to get tackled, so he just threw it back.
That was insane shit. And he like caught it. He had like he's like the first quarterback ever that had a receiving, a passing, and a rushing touchdown in the same season.
The same game.
Or the same. Oh yeah, that's true. That's some Superman shit. But like, it's unfortunate after all this season, the last several seasons, what the Bills have experienced, and to put all of that on Josh Allen, and now the entire fate of maybe the whole league is going to rest on if he can beat the Chiefs at some point. Like,
I mean, everybody has their own destiny. You know,
they do.
Every team is hoping to be that team.
Yeah,
that's going to make the playoffs. But from just a football
expectations
fan's
are
outlook, I don't have any. None of my favorite teams are going to make the playoffs. Therefore, I don't have personal stake in it. So just from like a football fan's mind outlook, it's like the Bills and the Chiefs just feel like they're going to be the teams in the AFC it's going to come down to.
It feels pretty obvious. Whereas the NFC, there are teams at the top, but there's other things you can see happening that would offset it.
Yeah.
You know
and I mean, we could sound like morons a month from now with these takes. It could go, fuck, this could be a Ravens-Vikings
Wouldn't that be insane? Just counting everybody out. But if we go off all the years past, it just feels like that would be natural again. And here's the thing: at some point, like especially if the Bills play like they've been playing, like they're going to run into them. And I hope that I think that America wants, like, I think the thing that people want to see is those two squaring off. AFC Championship game. Big. Can you imagine? And you're, like you said, you're a fan of other teams more than those two, but like, even me too. Neither one of those is my top like one or two teams. But can you imagine the amount of emotion that's going to be invested in that game? It is going to be it's going to be must see fucking television. Like if those two squared off in the championship game, and these are all we'll see what happens. But it just feels like if you see the way things could play out, that is definitely a possibility. Yeah. If they play like the Bills we've seen lately and the Chiefs we've seen lately, that's what's going to happen. And we've seen it before.
Now. We're almost there.
And we've seen it before.
Start.
The Chiefs played the fucking Bengals and the Bills in the AFC Championship game. And I guess the only time the Bengals did it, they beat them. That was still like an insane performance, though. Like when he went into Arrowhead and they beat him. Mm-hmm. That was like feel good shit.
He did it in front of their home, in their town, man.
Yeah.
Came into KC and did it.
He did. He's still that guy. He's a great fucking player, man, Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah, he is. What was yours for me?
This ties right in, and it'll be... We're going to talk some more playoffs. So another team that got in after kind of faltering a little bit earlier in the season because they were beat up by injuries and such. What do you think of the LA Rams playoff hopes? You think they're lucky to be in, they're not going to last long, or do you think that there's a path that they could even win 1 or 2 games?
I think they could be they're one of those sleeper teams that could upset somebody. Depending on how it all shakes out and who they play the first game, they could win a playoff game. I don't see the Rams winning the NFC or anything by any means. Of course, anybody that's in there has a chance to do it, and the Rams are going to be in there now, and they're kind of on a hot streak. I mean, Puka's really getting it going. Cup's looking good. Stafford's on.
Puka was also a major contributor to my fantasy team. Yeah. That dude scored a lot of points.
Yeah, he's had a great year.
Yeah. I feel like he's a really likable guy, too. Like, you listen to him in interviews and stuff.
Yeah, he's always got that warm smile.
He seems really free-spirited, like, having a good time. Like, he looks like he's having a good time out there still.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just a happy-go-lucky kind of looking dude. I think that I'll say a little underrated just because I don't feel like a lot of people are necessarily talking about the NFC West or the Rams.
No, because they were all neck and neck the whole year, pretty much, most of it.
And the Rams are kind of hot right now, and because they're not getting talked about much, I could see them taking an upset on somebody. I'm not saying it will happen, but like I could see them being a team to do that, So in that aspect, I'll probably say a little underrated, just because out of all the playoff talks and all the stories we were talking about going around the league right now, the Rams aren't really one of them.
No, they're not one of the top. Other than maybe Puka's performances. I mean, they've won games, but a few of the games Stafford lately hasn't had the greatest game. In terms of touchdowns or in terms of, but the Rams have won, and that's the thing. It's like they can find a way. But here's the problem: is I think, especially whenever you're dealing with the best teams, especially in the NFC or let alone the Super Bowl, whatever. You are there is not much room. There's not much of a margin for error. Like, these teams are going to be on their fucking ball game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not I don't think you can be unstable or not solid going into this, and maybe they can win these regular season games, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. It's gonna be tough. Yeah. It is going to be so much fun to watch these damn games, man.
I know. Yeah, that's the thing though too, is it kind of depends on what any team that's gonna be in the playoffs. It depends on what version of them kind of shows up. Because if you get the Rams team that showed up the week they played the Bills, that team could beat the fuck out of anybody.
Yeah.
So
that was insane football.
And the Rams are capable of that shit. Like Stafford, and he's always in the center of those games somehow.
That was one of the best like storied games I've watched in a long time.
That was a great game.
I'm like, that was
because it was just like the Rams were lights out, but Allen was just like,
fuck
you, no.
He threw fucking everything he had.
He just wasn't gonna let it happen.
No, that was like emotional. That was a draining game. Like, you could just see him. He gave that game everything he fucking had in the tank.
He's been doing that every week.
It was
That's
like,
what's kind of worrying me about the playoffs. It's like, dude, Josh has laid out so much on the table in the regular season that it's
see,
like,
that's why I'm like going back to the quarterback MVP thing. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know if anybody deserves it over him
this year.
It's like, I mean, honestly, Saquon's one of the guys you could make it an argument for, but like Josh is like,
I think CMC should have won it last year potentially. Like,
yeah, maybe
there's certain years where I think that it shouldn't always go to the quarterback, but yeah, this year,
I would say
people are making the argument because they're like, oh, Josh doesn't even have the best numbers, and it's like, I get that, but it's not necessarily the offensive player. It's the most valuable player.
That's why Lamar has been MVP.
Yeah, last season he was MVP, and he didn't have the best stats.
It's not most touchdowns. It's fucking, you know what I mean? It's how
the impact you have for your team.
Yeah, how valuable you are to your team. Like, what you do that matters in the difference between you guys winning and losing.
Yeah.
Like, and he does everything for that team to win. And the problem is, he does a damn good job at it, but it's like there's limitations to it because he can't do it all himself.
Yeah.
And that's where the Chiefs are like so well just orchestrated, top to bottom, left to right. Like everything is just works for them. All their parts move well.
Yeah, they got it figured out though. You know, they got a solid system.
They're the team to beat. You know, like until somebody else takes it.
Yeah, I mean that's what this playoffs is kind of all about in the AFC side is who can beat the Chiefs.
We were fooled into this not being a total Chiefs dynasty when we got like, oh, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl like after Brady and all that stuff. And then the Chiefs ended up after Brady it was they were in that Super Bowl. Before that is whenever they beat the Niners, right?
Yeah.
And then Brady beats him, but the Chiefs are still there. Oh, we don't get the Chiefs in for a year. It's like, oh man, these teams are great. We get Bengals, Rams, and then the Chiefs made it back, and nobody could beat them the 2 fucking years after that. Even though everybody doubted they were gonna, including us, we didn't necessarily want them, but like everyone was like, oh, there's no way this. We didn't think so.
Well, remember last year too. They started off kind of slumped.
They did,
and then they got hot.
I don't know how this, but the problem is like, whenever you start doing the math on it, and you're like, man, Allen lost to him here. They fucking played in the AFC Championship. It's like, we have seen this before. And we fall into this every damn year. It's like, when is somebody going to put them away?
Yeah.
You got to take it from them. It's going to be tough.
This is the year for that. That's the story in the AFC, if anybody can do it. And if not, can somebody do it in the Super Bowl? The Chiefs really are the team to beat. There's nobody on the NFC side like them necessarily. You don't got the Niners in there this year. It's kind of a fresh slate in the NFC in a lot of ways. The Eagles are like the team that's been there the most recently that I'm kind of like, not you guys really. But for the most part, anybody else, I'm like, it could be kind of interesting to see any of these teams kind of. Well, the Rams have been there pretty recent history too, so they can get better.
I
would probably like to see the Rams go more than the Eagles, but
that Nick Sirianni fucking thing, and it's like players disrespecting. I
just don't like him.
That's gonna be.
He comes off. He's like screaming at fans and shit too, like during this season. It's like, dude, you're way too hot.
His coach got in the way of him and the receiver, whoever it was, and he was just laughing. They were showing that they did. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say they were showing that they just didn't even like respect or but it's like they didn't really respect him. They don't really care what he has to say. It's like that. I feel like that locker room, like when they lose and they don't make the Super Bowl this year, I'm gonna just put it out there. There's gonna be turmoil in the locker room, probably.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's crazy because they got so much talent. They got Saquon, they got Hurts, they got AJ Brown. Like they have a lot of tools but to be honest, all the last few weeks where everybody's like, "Oh man, Eagles, they could do it. They're number 2. Maybe the Chiefs are still number 1." Eagles, I'm like, I don't think that me personally, I don't think, for what it's worth, I mean, I really don't think they're 2 or even 3. Like, I don't think that they're as likely as people are suddenly so high on them to win at all.
Yeah, they have a good team.
They do.
A solid team.
A really good roster.
Yeah. I see somebody from the NFC North.
There's just something just going on. I don't know. I don't know if I see that.
Yeah,
I hope the Bucs upset somebody. Hope they beat the shit out of somebody.
We'll see.
I want to see a dog. If there's gonna be a blowout, I want to see an underdog just whoop the fuck out of one of the teams that they think are gonna whoop them. As long as it's not Bucs versus Packers. I want to see like a round like wild card game that like one of my teams is in, and then they're like, "Oh, there's no way," and Baker just goes in there and drops like 40 on somebody that isn't the Packers. Oh man. I mean, whichever one of them goes further anyway is obviously who I'm going to be cheering, but while they're both in it, I'm going to hope the best for both.
Yeah.
But at some point, regardless, even before the Super Bowl, they would have to meet each other if they did that well. So we'll see what happens. I'm fortunate to be in the position where my 2 favorite teams are going to be in, baby. God forbid a Falcons win and a Bucs loss, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, if the Bucs win and the Falcons win, Bucs are in. Bucs lose and Falcons lose, Bucs are in. The only situation that they're not is if the Bucs lose and the Falcons win.
It's almost the way for me that my teams aren't going to be in. I don't want to have the stress, and I don't want to leave with heartbreak. So.
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to manage my expectations, and I'm hoping for the best, but I also realize there's at least like 4 teams well more experienced and dense than my teams,
Yeah.
Probably at least, I would give it at least probably 4 of them that I feel might have a better shot. But I mean, anything can happen. In any of those big teams, the Big 4, whoever, like they could be knocked out early too.
Anything could happen. Somebody could easily get upset wild card weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody. I don't know who, but it could happen.
Or even after that.
Yeah. Divisional round, championship round, anything. That's the thing too. A lot of times, if a underdog team does take a win, and then they're kind of hot, and then they come into the divisional, and then they take a win again.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a heavy underdog team in the championship game, I'm almost gonna pick them most of the time because I'm like, they're on a fucking run.
Everybody wants to see the big emotional win and stuff whenever they were not expected to do it. What do you got for your other one?
Well, switch it to wrestling for a quick moment.
I know I hate to do it, but I was like, oh fuck, we should probably.
Got Braun Breaker, his Intercontinental title run. He's had it since October. It's kind of, it's been a pretty decent run. His character, I feel like, it's kind of got a chance to develop a little more. He's got a little bit more of a chance to get over being the champion because he's out there. He's got to put the title on the line. People are after him a little more. But Braun's interesting too because he's kind of like, he's a modern day. He's not really a face or a heel.
He's just out kick your ass.
Yeah, he talks shit to bad guys, good guys, like anybody that he's going to have to face for the title or that he's facing for something. He's just like, you're my enemy now, So I kind of appreciate that out of Braun, but He's had some relevance to the Intercontinental title. I think Sami Zayn had a pretty damn good reign after Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Following Gunther, and obviously nobody's gonna have a reign like that for a good while again with that belt. That was the longest of all time.
No.
And Sammy did have a good run. He had some great matches when he was champ, and then Braun took it off him, and then Braun lost it to Jay, and then like a few weeks later he won it back from Jay. So
Was yours Braun's IC title reign?
yeah, Braun is the champion. Braun is the IC champion. Do you think? I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's probably building to more. It's letting his character develop.
For sure. And people are getting more familiarized with him and
Yeah.
stuff too. I think it's cool they put him on this early, but obviously, like, he's talented. He's just got, like a lot of guys, they get, elevated to the next kind of position. Like, he's still got a lot of growing to do, but I think it definitely shows a lot of belief in him for them to put the belt on him, especially twice, like, this early.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm happy that he's champ for sure.
Yeah, it's neat. He kind of has a different bit of a character too.
Yeah.
Like on SmackDown now, freaking LA Knight just randomly lost the belt to Shinsuke, and now Shinsuke's US champ. It's like Shinsuke was just fucking getting beat by all the top guys in the company for like 3 years, and then he like disappeared for a while, came back, and just picked up
the same thing is gonna happen again. For some reason, even if it's Triple H's like regime, it's like it's still gonna go back. Like there's certain people, and this is what I want to get to because I have my topic as well to close this out, and it's also wrestling. But this is kind of like my point is like no matter how good that they've been, and they have been great this year too, but there's gonna be natural points where they kind of don't express as much. They're gonna have negligence for certain stars. They're gonna have, what I mean. There's not gonna be attention on everyone you think there should be, but it kind of sucks because it felt like for years, like Shinsuke is literally not gotten his due. He never won the belt after he won those the Rumble, faced AJ,
It
and
feels
became
like
about nut
he
shots.
originally was. Like, when he first came in and he won the Rumble and everything, it felt like they were like, oh, this guy's going to be world champion sometime soon.
It did. I thought he was going to win the belt at Mania.
And, yeah, even after that, I'm like, oh, he'll probably definitely pick it up within this year with his feud with AJ. But then that whole feud just became fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Christian and Orton feud from way back in the day. It's like, if one guy is winning every match, or the other guy's just getting disqualified every time, this feud fucking blows. It's got to be back and forth. It's got to, there has to feel like a bit of a struggle. Like, I don't want, you're making Shinsuke, or back in the day Christian, these guys just look like shit if they're always going out on their back or getting disqualified. It's like the rivalry isn't good then. It's just one-sided.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what just stunted his whole fucking career, coming off of that rivalry. That was supposed to be his big thing.
Yeah, it seemed like it just kind of collapsed. They're just like, fuck him. I don't know. I liked him, and then honestly, I liked the way he was packaged in NXT whenever he first went there and shit. He was great for a few years.
People love to sing along to his entrance and shit.
I can't think of a dumber way they could have done the Shinsuke AJ feud. It was almost like, how can this be your decision on what? They could have had 4 banger matches.
Yeah.
And with definitive results, or even if he wasn't gonna win it right away, AJ wins. Second time AJ wins dirty, and oh fuck, he did this. Give him another match. You know what I mean? Build a story to where that makes sense. I honestly disagree with, unless it's one series over the course of so many pay-per-views. I don't necessarily agree with having 4 though, because it's an odd number. It's just you're gonna, or not an odd number, but that's the problem. It's an even number, so they could split them, or it's it's already gonna be uneven. So why would you have a 4th one?
Yeah, and going to 5 is a lot.
It's unless it's predetermined that this is a best of 5 series. That would make sense.
And even still, best of 5s a lot of times
they're gonna go the distance.
You gotta keep them interesting. You know what I mean? A best of 3 is the best way you can go. Anytime it's a best of anything, it's going to go the full amount. And 3 matches between 2 people, in a close amount of time together, is about perfect.
Yeah.
5, you're getting a little bit much. It can still be good depending on what you do. 7, way too fucking much.
Could you imagine if they did like a 3 stages of hell and like brought the like Hell in a Cell in for the third match, but they only did like 2? Like, oh, he ends it early. Yeah. People be like, you brought the fucking cell here?
You had to trick everybody.
Yeah. That'd be one hell of a trick if it was already there.
It's like a singles match and like
a ladder match or something.
Oh, he won both! What?
The
dopest part of this match didn't even happen.
Yeah. I always thought that. I'm like, oh, they already have they already know it's gonna be like a cage or something. What was always goofy though is like whenever they would have a cage, but they wouldn't show it camera angle wise until like they were ready to expose it. They're like, or tonight you're gonna meet me in a steel cage, and they put above it like, oh, the camera for the first time they saw it. Some of the lapses in like judgment or reality were like hilarious.
Well, it's the first time we're seeing it on TV, so that's all.
I know. No, I know, but I always thought that was funny.
But yeah, everybody in the crowd's like,
when did
no
that get
shit,
there?
Dumbass! I've been looking at it since I took my seat.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, certain feuds you can kind of extend like that, but anyway, to Braun, him as IC champion, I'm gonna say fair, but I also think that it's logical. I mean, he's he's Rick Steiner's son, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's it's logical to expect a lot of growth, I think, in his character. I mean, it's still early. I don't think anybody's hating on him really, like to a large degree at least. But I mean, it shows a lot that they're already putting that belt on him, in my opinion. So I mean, they obviously believe in him, and they're most certainly milking him to be one of the next stars, for sure.
Yeah.
So they definitely believe in him, and if they believe in him, then I'm like, okay, like, and you see some sort of talent there. It probably helped my judgment also if I'd seen a lot of more of his work, like probably in the last month or 2.
Yeah.
But I have seen him a number of times. Want to see what he's been up to as far as that goes, but it's we're getting ready to dive right back into that season here really soon, along with playoffs. Great time.
That is. Entertainment wise, there's a lot of good stuff happening early in the year.
For the last good, the bad, the shits of the year, I came up with this one on the fly, but I was like, now that we're actually wrapping the year, it makes sense too. What do you think of this crazy phenomenon, banger, in ways a revival wrestling year, I want to say, in WWE, but what do you think of like WWE's 2024?
I think most wrestling even wrestling fans that indulge in most the companies or companies that they can, or AEW, WWE, like some of the more the UK companies, and what's the one in Florida that Jacob Fatu came out of? That's another one. But like, I feel like everybody throughout the 2010s, there was kind of like, disgruntlement. Oh, this fucking company's actually putting on better stuff. You just can't say, oh, WWE stuff's lackluster. Almost everybody now, this year, 2024, was like, WWE's the best company of the year. Like,
yeah,
they've won a lot of the awards. They've had a lot of the, best matches, best stories of the year. I think that it's not really by any means overshadowed. I think most wrestling fans know, and it was a major year for growth too. Like, they announced, that we're moving into the Netflix era now, and
biggest gate in the history of Mania.
Yeah, they're expanding more and more countries all the time with these PLEs. They're getting into these massive gates. It just feels like everybody kind of felt the explosion this year.
Wasn't it like a $5 billion deal with Netflix?
I think so.
That's just,
or something like it was insane. Billions, I think.
Yeah, that is so much. It's gonna be killer though. Like, to see them on Netflix, that's gonna be cool.
I know it. I was even telling this to Haley though earlier. I'm like, this is like the frustrating part about modern day is like the streaming shit, how we were kind of talking, it's turning into cable a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a wrestling fan, just if you're a WWE fan, don't even talk about AEW or anything else, just WWE, you're going to need Raw. To watch Raw, you're going to need Netflix. To watch SmackDown, you're still going to need cable. And to watch the PLEs, you're going to need Peacock.
Yep.
It's like, it's even on 3 platforms now. And it's one fucking thing. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm trying to look up how much that deal was, though.
I think it was $5 billion.
Yeah.
And that starts with the first Monday of January.
10-year, $5 billion.
A week from today.
Yeah, January 6th.
Yeah. That's gonna be definitely the start of another era. I think fucking Dwayne's gonna be there. You know he's gonna get back involved. What the hell is gonna happen? What kind of a Mania picture are we gonna be looking at? That's still a while away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna. I think that'll all start to shape up within the next month and a half. We'll kind of start seeing more,
Some of it
like
will.
some predictions and speculations. You'll start to kind of have, like,
Mhm.
oh, this guy's probably gonna go here, and we'll maybe start having some ideas with Cena and stuff by then. Rock will probably be back by then. We might have some ideas with him. He's gonna be there the first Raw on Netflix. So is Cena.
Cena and Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's getting
That's what I
involved in
thought.
that Tribal Combat.
Yeah.
Because it's Roman and Solo in Tribal Combat. I think Cody's facing Kevin for the belt in some kind of Extreme Rules match, I think. Or a ladder match, maybe.
We should give him a shout out while we can too. In 2025 will also be Cena's final,
Yeah.
John Cena's final wrestling year.
Retirement tour. I hope he has some, really banger matches this year, though.
Yeah.
Some, big time.
You think they'll do
Classic,
him versus
memorable
Punk one more
matches.
time?
Maybe.
What if they do it in Chicago?
I'm more
One
excited.
more time.
Yeah, that could be cool.
One more
I'm
time.
more excited though about the prospect of him with some of these young guys. I know
We've seen
it's
a lot
gonna
of
be cool to
that
see
in
him
recent
lock
history
up
too.
with obviously the guys that he had rivalries
Yeah.
with in his heyday.
It's probably mostly gonna be younger guys anyway.
But yeah, if he can have a cool a rivalry with Gunther and shit, that could be
Yeah.
sick.
That I think we need to see because that just seems like a pretty damn cool match to have.
Yeah, that could be dope. There's a few I could if I really sat. I mean, even Braun Breaker, he could be a fucking option to have another pretty good rivalry with Cena. You could turn, or maybe they could both be face, but just SummerSlam or something. You could have Cena fucking face Cody or some shit.
I really hope that they whenever he has his first match back, they start him off just
To the
like
races.
the old Cena, like the old just coming back and just fucking just winning matches and just
Because his last few years prior to this have been pitiful.
And
As a Cena fan, it's been very discouraging.
I want to see not only the road to Mania, I want to see John Cena's story play out from when he comes back. Give us one last ride throughout the months and pay-per-views, and just have him go through a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And make it
Yeah, that's what I mean. I want to see a whole Cena arc, man.
Yeah.
Put the belt on him, maybe even for a minute. Fuck it. If they want to do
If
that.
he's 17, that's
They
the thing.
wanna
I don't
do
know.
that.
That's a big question.
He's going to fight for the belt, and that's going to be the whole story. Oh, is he going to do
At
it?
some
Is he going to
point.
break the record? But, I mean, if he does it as his retirement match, I see him winning it. And then just vacating the belt.
Have Flair come out or something. They're like, nah, that won't happen. Actually, he's under contract with fucking AEW. I think for the next.
And Flair would probably be
years.
pissed about it, most likely.
No, I think he said he would be supportive because it's Cena and stuff, and he
Yeah.
does like Cena. He's always liked Cena a lot, but who knows? Fuck that! He's coming back for 17 and 18.
Yeah, that's not happening.
He's gonna come back.
Hello. No, I'm not even going to say that's horrible. No. But, yeah, this is 2025. A lot of interesting shit could happen this upcoming year. I mean, who even knows who the belt's going to go on after Mania? Gunther and Cody, they might not even leave April champions.
Yeah.
And that could make for a whole other interesting. Can you imagine if leaving Mania, World Heavyweight Champ John Cena, undisputed WWE Champ The Rock. Can you imagine that?
One more time for like the belts or something. They could do their third one finally.
Cena beats Gunther for the World Heavyweight, and Rock beats Cody for the undisputed.
That would be insane. And like now he's a heel as the final boss and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, dude, like what if he does? What if he wins?
And then Cody and Roman kind of have to like team up to like take down the tyrannical boss. That is The Rock.
The final boss.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know.
means
I
he's your
really
boss.
don't see that happening, but that is like a story that I played out in my head. Like there is an actual possibility
Yeah.
that Cena and Rock walk out as world champs from WrestleMania.
Maybe. I mean, like, that's the thing, though, is, like, I don't know how this is going to go because is Rock coming back to work Cody? Like, that'd be fucking wild. That has to be
Would be wild.
night 2 main event.
A lot of people think he's probably going to come back and work with Roman, but
Rock?
you could save that still.
See, and I'm hearing, and I don't know how much I like this because
Save it for Slam.
I don't know how much I like this, and I think I already told you this, maybe not. But the one rumor I'm hearing, and I'm not a big fan because this ruins, like, 3 different storylines in one. Is they're like, well, you know, like I just heard rumors of CM Punk and Roman. And I'm like, that would offset so many stories going to Mania. And like, what about, you know, CM Punk winning the Rumble, which I think he's got to be in line as the number 1 guy.
Oh yeah, Punk and Rollins are facing on the first Raw on Netflix too.
I think Punk's got to be the number 1 Rumble guy, right? Who else would you see above him? I don't think it's going to be anybody that's... Because... on the board and not even necessarily high on the list, but Rock and Cena are both on the board to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
Already early odds makers. Like
I could see either of them doing it.
I see Punk's like the guy within the company that's most like logically gonna win it though.
Yeah.
The problem is if he still wants
He
to
was supposed to win it last year.
if he wants to still get his WrestleMania main event, like how is there gonna be room? Because Roman's got to do something. Punk, you know, Rock, Cody. If Rock's in the card, he's definitely in the main event. If Cody's still champ, he's obviously, you know, main event.
Mm-hmm.
Main event night 2. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he goes after Gunther.
They're just rumors. Yeah, well,
If
I don't know.
Punk wins.
That would feel like it would bring that belt up quite a bit more, too, if Roman, like, held it for a while or something.
Yeah.
Not that it's not, but it feels like it needs a boost compared because right now it still feels like Cody's belt is number 1A.
Yeah, I think the World Heavyweight belt though feels like the working man's world title.
It is.
You know, like it's the one that you see, and it's kind of like put up for like the title's defended on like a Raw every now and then and shit. You know. Like I think that World Heavyweight title obviously still has a lot of prestige. Like it was a big deal when Gunther won it. It was a big deal when Priest won it. You know, Rollins, he was the inaugural one.
Yeah, a little bit shy of a year.
So yeah, I mean they've put it on guys that they like really want to give a big boost to or be like this person's in their moment now. You know, they've reached the plethora. But yeah, like the top belt in the company is the undisputed WWE title. So it's the big ass logo, bro. That's the one they take and they give to all the fucking athletes that win the championships and stuff.
What would you say about WWE's 2024 though, if you had to say overall?
I think it's fair. I think most wrestling fans, like I said, yeah, they kind of felt the explosion this year. I don't think anybody's discrediting them. Like most everybody's like, they were the best working company this year.
And I feel like a lot of their stories got hot. Like some of them have been dragged on too long, i.e.
And there's
Rhea
a lot
Ripley
of
and Liv Morgan and Dom. That's been dragged on way too long.
Well, it doesn't even feel like they're like as relevant of a thing anymore. Like
Rhea should have won already.
Now you got Raquel working in there, and you know Damien got tied in with the Terror Twin. It's like the Judgment Day. Their whole existence now is to just be a thorn in the side of Rhea and Damien. That's it.
I know they need to. Like we said, there's blind spots on certain stories because it's there's only so much TV time, and we'll see what the hell happens.
Yeah.
But Rumble, not
yeah,
too
we're
long.
we're coming into like an exciting 2024 was really hot for WWE, and there's a lot of excitement coming into this year.
Mm-hmm.
The Cena and Brock coming back, Netflix era starting, WrestleMania season starting.
We got the NFL playoffs in January, baby.
Yeah, that's all about to kick off. It's a lot of fun stuff. January itself, kind of a bummer. Good month for content, though.
It is. Well, I think that about concludes it.
Yep.
For our final episode of 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all of your support throughout the beginning, middle, end of this year, all the holiday episodes. Our Cape Con appearance got some great views.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've been going with this for quite a long time at this point, 5.5 years.
It's crazy.
So, thank you for sticking with us, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't have any more to add, you can say it if you want. But yeah, we appreciate all you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
2024. Well, happy end of 2024. Rolling into a brand new year.
Yeah.
Next time we talk to y'all,
It will
it'll be 2025.
So, ladies and gentlemen, well, as usual, take care of yourselves out there. Listen to Casting the Spotlight, usually uploaded weekly. And, gear up for the next season. We will see you in 2025.